All right, what's going on, everyone? Hope all of you are having a good day. Let me get my camera on. Boop, boop, boom, boom. And does it look right? Does it look right? Does it look right? Does it look right? Oops, I'm not seeing anything. 1 second. I need to spin this software up. There we go. Skip it. No, later. I don't want to do that. Yeah, later. Awesome. All right, my camera is where it's supposed to be now, but I'm not positioned properly. 1 moment. Oh, whoops, that's not the right one. 1 moment, 1 moment. There we go. That looks a little bit better, except it's out of focus. There we go. And focus again. Playing games. Oh, that's right. I haven't even started up Rogue Trader. So let me do that, and we'll be in business shortly. Ricardo, what's going on, man? How are you? Threed, what's up, dude? Just got done listening to Pariahs, a Grim Hollow campaign. Ooh, was it good? Here we are. Boom, boom. Oh, let me check my OBS, and yep, looks like it's coming up properly. How has you all's day been? Mine was all right. It's my week to be on call at work, so a little bumpy, just a tad bit bumpy, but I cannot complain. Can I slander it? Yeah, this is the right one. Oh, hell yeah, it was nice. That's awesome, dude. Glad to hear it. Aurora, what's going on? At the park using the Wi-Fi to watch. Can't stay for long. Well, I appreciate you dropping in at least for a little bit. Hope you're having a nice time at the park. What did we do last? Oh, that's right. We are at Kiavagama, which also means, did we... Looks like we visited all the planets that are here. There's one planet that I feel like is missing. Did we ever do... There's this planet where you have to go up against multiple turrets on an ice world, and you're surrounded by like 3, 4, or 5 different turrets. I don't remember doing that, but maybe we did get around to it. Anyway, we're at Kiavagama, which means we should almost be done with Act 2. Yay! One of them is playing a complete nutbag of a bard who's all about positivity and trying to make people make more positive in a world of dead gods, alien abominations, banning of arcane magic. Nice. Yeah, Roar, we basically cleared out all of the side planets from Act 2. And so now, once we finish Kiavagama, it'll be time for us to ascend to a true, acknowledged rogue trader, and that should be the end of Act 2. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to end Act 2 on this stream, but I know Gamma is a kind of a long planet, so we'll see. I don't know if we'll have enough time, but hopefully we will. Lord Captain, according to telemetry, we are in the system of Kiavagama, the main industrial world of the Von Valancius dynasty. However, our astropaths report that attempts to contact Governor Gaprak have been unsuccessful. But wait! The Voxmaster is silent for a few seconds. Lord Captain, a new report. Kiavagama is sending a request to exchange data. Should we accept it? Ignore the transmission, because we already know that heretics have overrun this area, right? So nope. As road trader, I just want to go ahead and land and not even deal with that. Ignore the transmission. As you command, Lord Captain. The Voxmaster switches to a nearby comm channel to relay your instructions to the crew. For several minutes, nothing happens. Lord Captain, we ignored the transmission as you ordered, but the Vox system has detected a dozen more incoming requests. The number is growing stronger every second, and each one is becoming more insistent and stronger. I think I hear something. Suddenly, a deafening screech erupts from the bridge's Vox system. You hear violent tirades of garbled Benharic code like the low chuckles of machinery. Lord Captain, interference detected in the compartment's Vox system. Looks like the bridge is cut off from the rest of the void ship. So is this game worth it? Is it as long as Pathfinders? It is not as long as Wrath of the Righteous, but it's absolutely still very good. I would say it's not quite as good as Wrath of the Righteous, but it's better than Kingmaker. And I absolutely recommend playing it. It's also very different from Alcat's Pathfinder games, so it's not like you're necessarily getting the same thing again, which may or may not be a good thing in your eyes. No, Ruffles. By my void domain clear. Pretty epic cleric build so far. Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Aurora. I agree, 3. Alcat, I don't feel like they've made any like straight up just shitty games yet, but their games always are always problematic to some degree. Rogue Trader had some pretty serious issues at launch, but they released several major bugs, and I believe the vast majority of those have been cleared. So they are supposed to release one more major patch soon. So I would say once that other major patch comes out, especially since it's supposed to add a lot more voice acting to the game, once that comes out, I would definitely say that's a good time to go ahead and dive in. The void ship's bridge. Sounds of working cogitators and officers' footsteps. The everyday scene is interrupted by an ear-splitting beeping sound, followed by lumens going out. In the dim glow of candles and emergency lights, one of the officers in frame cries out. Another falls to her knees, clutching her head. Over the beeping of Voxes, shouts can only just be heard. What's going on? The doors are locked. We've lost contact with all compartments. One of the bridge officers turns to the throne. Lord Captain, the Vox stations are malfunctioning and overloading the system. None of our outgoing transmissions are getting through. The incoming ones that do make it are distorted beyond interpretation. The Lord Captain gives the order to decipher the incoming Vox transmissions at all cost. Proceed. A team of decryption experts get to work. Data tethers are inserted into sockets as they connect to the cogitators. One of the Vox clerics leans over the console, another is writing something on a piece of parchment. But then she bursts into maniacal laughter and stabs herself in the eye with a steel quin. Another scream, a tech priest who was mid-prayer tears himself to pieces with his own Makendendrites. More and more lunatics are mutilating themselves and lunging at others. Portion of pick recording damaged after contact with unknown object. An enforcer shoves a rabid servitor away from the Lord Captain as she executes one of the lunatics and roars a series of orders to the rest. The madman's body falls at the rogue trader's feet as her commanding voice, magnified by a Vox amplifier, carries over all the noise. She orders the crew to master themselves immediately, promising to personally execute anyone who fails to do so. Some of the lunatics quiet down, others try to snap out of it. One pins her hand to a panel with a dagger to stop herself from moving. Another fervently whispers prayers. Some return to the cogitators, others lean over the wounded. Shots ring out. Those still on a rampage are executed by the rogue trader herself as promised. Scrap code. The voice belongs to the on-deck engine seer, who has turned to the Lord Captain from his station. We have been attacked with scrap code, a tech heresy designed to corrupt machines. The transmission received from the planet was infected with this taint, and it is now running through the ship's veins. Omnissiah, preserve us. The void-born officer appears before the Lord Captain once more. Whatever it is that's attacking us, we have a backup procedure that can circumvent the Vox barrier. In the atrium leading to the bridge, there's a terminal for an isolated system that might still be unaffected. A loud pop. The pipes over the officers' heads burst, and a blast of hot air flings the void-born away from the Lord Captain, his body slamming straight through a cogitator panel. The pick frame spins uncontrollably. The servo skull was jolted by the gust. The pick recorder fogs over, the Vox picking up the crackling of electricity and a death cry. Gas on the bridge, a junior attendant shouts, and instantly doubles over, inhaling the poisoned air. The rogue trader commands the crew to carry on with their duties until the very last. Heedless to the gas spreading over the deck, the officers continue their flurry of work to their stations, executing the orders issued by the Lord Captain. Even when the doors to the bridge are open, the crew carries on for as long as they can. Last to leave the bridge, the Lord Captain runs out, coughing heavily. Leaning on a support beam, the rogue trader takes several deep breaths, trying to flush her lungs with air. Then she straightens, smooths her uniform, and heads towards a goal known only to her. The servo skull follows. The atrium is in a state of panic. Silhouettes skitter about in the dark hall, illuminated only by the flickering of emergency lumens. Curt orders and someone's feverish words of prayer can be heard. Having lost all communication, the beheaded ship is writhing in agony. It takes a while for the Lord Captain to find the cogitator mentioned by the fallen officer. The panel of the isolated terminal is riddled with cracks and bloodstains, and on the floor by the terminal, a tech priest is lying in a heap with his head smashed and technical liquids mixed with blood oozing out of his ports. The Lord Captain decides to take her chances restoring the terminal. The rogue trader rips the power key off the tech priest's mechanics and opens the cover on the terminal. Sparks fly into her face, but she is confident in her manipulation of the tangled wires and clanging levers. After replacing the cover and ensuring that the system is restored, the Lord Captain brings up the required data on the screens. Thanks to the rogue trader's efforts and the sacrifice of the senior bridge officers, the rest of the ship's compartments were able to suppress the panic and deal with the raging machine spirits with few casualties. No critical reports. Return to the bridge. The walk to the bridge is uneventful. The crisis is past. Although wounded and crippled, the ship nevertheless is returning to its normal operation. The bridge resembles a battlefield. The floor is strewn with corpses. The cogitators are damaged, and the people inside are barely standing. Healers in masks are bagging up pale corpses. Technomats are hastily patching up the ruptured pipes, and the surviving officers are trying to get the remaining cogitators back up and running. By the comm station, the rogue trader runs into the Vox Master. Praise the Emperor, you're in one piece, Lord Captain. The situation on board is satisfactory. I was just in the middle of setting up comm channels. Soon all the Voxcasters will be fully operational. Another man appears in the pick frame, a junior officer, completely out of breath, carrying a heap of scrolls. The Vox Master nods at him. Ah, here are the reports, Lord Captain. If you find yourself able to return to your station, I can immediately give you a rundown of the state of affairs on the ship. All right. Woo! It's rough even before you land on the planet. It's good that it isn't as long. Shorter games have been nice. I agree. All games don't need to be 200 hours. Gonna make some 4-cheese Cheeto mac and cheese. Nice. Can we expect you tomorrow, if not to play, to listen in, get a feel for the mechanics? I might be able to, 3, because actually my daughter is not home today. I'm not gonna have to take her to ballerina class, but the only problem is I'm on call this week. So if I get a call tomorrow morning, no, I won't be able to join, but I might be able to join. We'll see. And I don't know if you're still dealing with past issues you mentioned before. Yeah, the issue is, I don't know if I thoroughly explained it before. My grandmother-in-law was the one who usually did all the picking up and dropping off of my daughter. So she was heading out every afternoon, picking up Simone and taking care of her while I had to work. Well, she had 2 heart attacks in December. So, and she was in the hospital, she was in recovery, she's back home, but she's not the same right now. She basically requires 24/7 care, and she's definitely not driving anywhere. So to relieve some of the pressure, I've taken on a lot of that responsibility of picking up Simone and taking her to all the places she needs to go. So I'm picking her up from school every day, and on Saturday mornings now, I'm responsible for taking her to ballerina class. So originally, when I said I could join you all, my Saturday mornings were open. It would have been no problem. And frankly, I don't know when that's necessarily going to end. It's not clear right now if my grandmother-in-law is going to heal and recover and get back to normal, or if 24/7 care is basically the new normal, and we all just have to adapt to that. And so that's why I haven't been able to give you a direct answer about, when would I be able to start attending regularly and stuff like that. So for me, it's all up in the air. Frigid cold, but I don't know if curfew is 11 a week. I don't know. Don't need frostbite on my fingers. Yeah, avoid frostbite. Take care, Aurora. Appreciate you joining the stream. Lord Captain, the Vox Master's voice is quivering with exhaustion. The situation has been brought under control, more or less. It will take some time to eliminate the consequences of the attack completely, but the vessel is capable of motion. We may even be able to conduct a warp jump if you feel we should leave the system. Allow me to bring you up to date. The bridge suffered heavy losses. Many of the officers responsible for key systems perished during the attack. The consequences for the vessel are most grievous. Kiavagama went silent after transmitting the harmful signal. I will refrain from sending inquiries to the industrial world to avoid a second attack. I am afraid we have exhausted our options for remote analysis. More information can only be obtained by closing the distance or even sending an away party to the planet's surface. The Vox clicks as Heinrix joins the channel. The time has come to remind you about our agreement, Commander High Slanderer. I must be present in your entourage during your expedition to Kiavagama. I am counting on your cooperation. The crew is awaiting further instructions, Lord Captain. Woo! Brutal! Yeah, no problem. Yep, appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it. Okay, that's just XP. Oh, there's some damage to the ship we need to heal. Let me do that. The dwarf planet is marked on the Von Valancia's protectorate charts as Autle and serves as a backup source of water for the habitable worlds of neighboring systems. Due to the abundance of bacteria proliferating in the Alte's hydrosphere, the extraction of ice was stopped half a century ago. But much to your officer's surprise, the augurs detected an unidentified mining rig deep underground. Presumably, the excavation is aimed at extracting clay minerals near the planet's core, enriched with iron and other metals. Persuasion. Send a scouting party. The Extraction turns out to be Incendia Chorda's latest investment, whose Demensne is located just within a few jumps from the Kranach system. While this world is of little value to the Von Valancia's dynasty, your officers see this gesture as an attempt to test the boundaries of the newly minted rogue trader's leniency. The rogue trader orders to behead everyone on the illegal mining rig and send their heads to Incendia Chorda with the very best of wishes. The crew carries out the order with grim determination. Not a hand trembled. Each face focused without demur. The property of the Von Valancia's dynasty is yours alone, and the crew stands ready to prove this to any would-be challenger as often as is necessary. Yikes. That seems a little bit extra. Let's heal up. There we go. And let me just check real quick. Right, and this needs 430. Yeah, it's gonna be a while before we can do that. And my poster all there. My poster all there. So let's get it done. So, any special plans for the weekend? My wife is out of town, and my daughter's with the folks, so finally, as long as I don't get a call from the job, action. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to chill. Of course, we all know how plans are, but that's how I envision my weekend going, and I'm very much so looking forward to it. Why? This thing is almost always on the opposite side. I just don't get it. Why? All right. Ooh, that only did one. I do not appreciate that. There we go. That's a little bit better. And I guess we'll do this. And I guess I'll protect myself. And can we do warp? No, it won't let us do warp twice in a row. Well, that was a waste. All right. Either one of you are in range. Princess, what's going on? Why do you ache? Man, that kind of sucks. There's no. All right, you. And you. You're done for. And do that. You're done for. Let's see. Khonshu, what's going on? How are you? Hold on, a crap ton of furniture and mattresses. Why? Did you just move? Why didn't it reduce the warp cooldown by one? I don't understand. Let's do this. And there we go. Hey, he took quite a bit of damage from the fire. I appreciate that. He's trying to give as good as he gets, but that's not working out. You know? Hey, I like that. A little bit of help there. That works. All right. Here. Change the trajectory. Here, Master Cannoner. There we go. Seriously? That doesn't really reach it, does it? No, it doesn't. Alright. It was a nice idea, but it just didn't work out. Sick as hell, so a chill scream. Sorry to hear it, dude. I hope you feel better soon. But happy to provide the chill stream. Let's see. Do that. This. That's not gonna work, is it? That may not. Oh, it will work. The fire should be enough, I think. Let's see what happens. Still, let's point it here. And oh, that's right. It demands that we have to do all the moves necessary. Oh, that means I kind of screwed this up, but oh well. Yep, I screwed that up. But could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. No, I work at a FedEx warehouse. It's part of my job, unfortunately. Yikes. I'm sorry to hear it, dude. I've been lucky enough to avoid the heavy physical labor jobs, but I know a couple of people who bodies still had the ramifications on having to do that on a day-to-day basis. So hope you're taking care of your body at least. Levi, what's going on? Hey, Slander, just wondering if you saw the X-Men 97 trailer, what your thoughts are on it. I'm assuming for some reason you may have been a fan of the original animated series. Huge fan, massive fan. Top 5 animated series for me all time. But I wouldn't necessarily, I'm not sure if I'm excited for this. To be honest with you, the dynamic between Professor X and Magneto was one of the main things I enjoyed about the original series. So to start it up with Professor Xavier now being dead, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Now, what I think is cool is, seems like they're going to try to do some different things in regards to the powers. Seeing Gambit charge up Wolverine's claws was pretty freaking radical. And it makes me interested to see what other combinations they're going to throw in there. So I'm certainly going to watch it, all of it. I think the stories that were told in the original animated series were absolutely fantastic and honestly hold up really well today. I actually rewatched the entire series when Disney Plus came out. And I'm like, man, even in today's time as a full adult, this shit holds up. It holds up really, really well. And so it'll be interesting to see how much this new version of it stacks up to the original. It is nice that it seems like a lot of the original voice actors are returning, and of course it's got the same theme, which is iconic at this point. So they're getting a lot of stuff right, but I'd be lying if I said I'm sold. I'm not really sold. I'm going to check it out, and we'll see what happens. My excitement lasted exactly 12 seconds for 90 seconds. I don't freaking know why, though. Interesting. So you're not excited at all for 3? Heinrix frowns as his eyes sweep over the manufacturer's dark halls. No solemn ceremony, no personal meeting with Marazhai. I fear we are too late, and we won't be dealing with clandestine heretics after all. Any suggestions for how we proceed? To start, let's look around and find out why the arrival of the rogue trader did not elicit the usual fuss. To speak plainly, I would not count on a warm welcome at this rate. Better keep your weapon at the ready. We'll learn nothing by standing here. Let's go. The interrogator nods, continuing to stare into the surrounding gloom. All right, let's get to it.
The world trembles beneath my feet. And done. Servitor.
Good. Ooh. The servitors before you appear as if they are performing some elaborate and confusing dance. Striking strange poses, they rock back and forth with their arms bent in peculiar angles. Upon your approach, one of the servitors jerks and tries to turn in your direction. The rest immediately repeat the motion. The strange scene is complemented by a grating sound. Dull clicks just at the edge of your hearing come from an unknown source. Observe the servitor closest to you. Based on a cursory inspection, you conclude that the servitors were designed for precision work on an assembly line, possibly circuit production. The number of high-quality, expensive augments in their bodies greatly exceeds basic standards. The servitor's hands moves. It is slowly reaching toward you. Agility. Avoid its touch. Gently and swiftly, you step away from the servitor. It stretches out its hand as if trying to blindly to touch you in the space that you have already left, and stills once more. It seems its brain is incapable of quickly processing changes in its surroundings. Find the source of the repeating clicks. Soon enough, you locate the source of the clicking. On the back of one of the servitors, a tumor oozing with murky ichor is growing straight through the augments. The relays coated in inflamed tissue are blocked. Hence the reason for the persistent clicking. A mutation in a servitor? Tech priests typically reject the use of flawed soft tissue for their constructs. Perhaps something has caused this aggressive growth. And quite recently, cut away the tumor forming on the spinal cogitator. Without much difficulty, you cut the excess flesh from the mechanisms. The liberated relay lets out a rapid burst of clicks, then a spark flashes before your eyes, and something begins to hum deep inside the servitor's flesh. As if on cue, the servitors stop moving, lower their arms, and turn to you. Crew 24, second lane of the manufacturer, commencing work. State your request. The servitor addressing you is looking past you, and the voice is coming from the vox built into its throat. Deactivate. Your service is done. Interesting. Maybe it's because Cyclops is leading. I would have played Storm. She always seemed more experienced and collected than Cyclops. Yeah, but he was the leader in the original series, though. 90 animated Marvel and DC over most of their modern content. Hard to disagree about that. Rob, what's going on, man? There are a lot of complaints about X-Men 97 about the flattening of Rogue's butt. Really? I didn't even look at it. I'm not going to lie, that's a little disappointing, but that's not my big complaint. So wait, 3, do you concur that she's like noticeably been flattened? No, Professor Xavier was the Vision, but on the ground, most of the time, Cyclops was the one giving out the orders. There were a couple of episodes where Storm led, but for the most part, she was like a secondary leader, and Cyclops was the one actually in charge. Now, of course, in the comics, things have been completely blown up, but, you know. The Cogitators panel has dozens of breakers, buttons, handles, switches, and other control mechanisms. View the log. You discover the local data crypt with contents collected by either previous operators or the machine spirit itself. Using your access, you study the archives stored on this cogitator. Logic. View the third log data, which is hidden by the protection of the machine spirit. Your knowledge of machine spirits is sufficient to trick the system and subdue it to your will. A false query, a crafty manipulation of the controls, and you get what you want. The instrumental terminals have already been replaced, and the material delivery systems are being prepared for divine transformation. The execution of the new procedure has been delayed, for there are some in our ranks who doubt the words of the fabricator censor and his votaries, and there are some who are not susceptible to the enhancement protocol that carries our tech comrades to enlightenment. May the deliverers of fate be merciful to them. Inaction is death, and I must be returning to our great work. Praise be to the truth that will reveal the path to the knowledge shrouded in darkness. View the first log data. Praise be to the Omnissiah, whose might and power transforms dead metal to make manifest the holy visions of the machine god. The new protocols received at the Synod from the Great Fabricator Censor have been executed, despite those who shuddered at the thought of changing a standard procedure. Embolden your hearts. Those whose inner weakness breeds errors in personal calculations, for the Fabricator Censor is the conductor of the higher will and the wisest among us. View the second log data. Today, at the Supreme Assembly, the Fabricator Censor unsealed the vaults of the sacred designs and committed to them those deemed redundant or heretical to purifying disposal. Today, dozens of standard procedures were lost, to be replaced by new ones, which the Fabricator Censor will deliver to those who demonstrate the greatest devotion to serving the truth. But the databanks contain no notion of truth. Could there have been, may the all-knowing one, the gracious keeper, forgive me, an error in the Fabricator Censor's calculations, and he meant to say, serving the quest for knowledge? Step away. Nope.
I tread a path.
He's all the way corrupted. Rogue in the Miranda treatment. That would be terrible. She's supposed to be a little voluptuous. Like, that's part of her character in the comics and in the animated show. To me, it's noticeable if you're looking for it. I wasn't really looking for it, but then it said that, and I took a 3-second watch, and yeah, that's crazy. Why? I guess I remember Cyclops being in charge. It changed later, but later's a long time in X-Men history, 60 years or so from now, I think. Yeah, exactly. In the comics, it's different, but never in the animated show. Still planning to clean up before moving to Act 2. Nope, this is it. We do this, and then we get officially, there's the official Rogue Trader ceremony, and we're done with Act 2, moving into Act 3. Actually, no, I take that back. There's one other planet we need to visit, because it's got a bunch of ships. Hopefully my ship is strong enough to survive it this time. What's going on, Hinsler? By the way, glad you're able to join the stream. I think that might depend on the series and how well he was getting along with Jean. This is true. A massive cogwheel constantly drives the colossal gear system, which is lost in the haze. Wait, I'm sorry. What was that? A tome containing revelations on Omnissiah recorded in special Ben-Haric dialect. Only a member of the cult Mechanicus with a key to this cipher may partake in the wisdom of the machine god. Interesting. Bing, bing, bing. The lumps protruding under the tech priest's bedraggled red robe hint at the mechanisms implanted in his body. You see his haggard and sickly face under the archaic respirator augmetic. Aye, a click, a clank, a barely audible hiss, and only then the tech priest's vox finishes the word. Identification. Awareness. Examine the tech priest. You carefully study the robe-clad figure. A black border of necrosis spreads out from around the tech priest's implants. For some reason, his body is rejecting the true flesh. A moment later, you recognize the dominant smell in the bouquet of scents permeating the air around the tech priest, the stench of rotten meat. One of my coworkers just sent me a text message. He said, "You okay?" Getting a text message, "You okay?" around 10:30 p.m. makes me wonder: is there something going on that I don't know? But moving on. Phew! This guy smells worse than a Grox fermented and spent Promethean. I bet he tastes even worse. Is that any way to greet the mistress of your world? The tech priest pauses as his external cogitators whir, processing the information. Finally, the malfunctioning Vox produces a cracked voice. Irregularity. Execution of the fabricator sensor approved. Protocol 3942 recommended. What is this Protocol 3942? A sacred decree passed by the fabricator censor that it dictates the course of action. The tech comrades of Kiavagama in suboptimal working condition are to follow. Immediate execution of Protocol 3942 recommended. An answer that is both perfectly accurate and perfectly useless. I do love cog lingo. I will not be doing anything until... Actually, no. Attack. It's about time you were scrapped. The tech priest draws his weapon, and as his robe opens, your senses are hit by a fetid wave of rot. Ooh.
The
We're all
absurdity
friends
of
with
your
him, huh?
struggle amuses me.
Cross that.
My pen. Oh no, not the Act 3. Take a screenshot of your stuff before going in. Hopefully all the bugs and whatnot have been dealt with. One can only hope. All right. Abelard is gonna chill over here. Heinrix as well. Yeah, Heinrix as well. Actually, here, so you. No, it's fine. Her being up front. That's fine. That's fine. You. In fact, no, we're gonna do that the opposite. You over here, you here, and then Jay is going to chill with you. And excellent. All right, now you.
I am a navigator,
Do what you do
not a
best.
servitor.
Aw, I felt like that should do a little bit more, but that's fine.
Will do.
3. I am about here on my playthrough. It's taking a lot longer for me than I would have liked. Why did it take so long? My worry takes me. This guy's supposed to... Mr. Loser, what's going on, dude? How are you? Oh, she can't. There we go. I was like, it's gotta be
Was that
somewhere.
you?
All right, now.
Or
This and bam. Excellent. And that's all she needed to do. And now it's her turn again. We will give this to you. And then this to you. And then you can have
I'm
this.
not accustomed to being ordered around.
And then we can give this to you all.
If I may.
And then, actually, I should have moved up. Oh, no, actually, that's not even necessary. So we'll do, how much is this? 2 AP, right, okay. So I guess, sure, that makes sense. We'll do this first.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Excellent. And then we will do, oh, we could do it a second time? Well, I guess that does make
Isn't
sense,
this a
sure.
job for now? Clad in
Good lord.
scarlet.
Yep, that made a whole lot of sense. Whole lot of sense. All right, now, you. No, we won't do that. Here, we'll enfeeble you. And then I'll set you on fire.
I need no guidance.
And I think that's a good start. All right, now. She's got a stun thingamajig, so
I'm not
we can
accustomed
stun you as
to
well.
being ordered around.
Oh, you know what? Let's make sure you take
Me?
maximum
If you
amount
insist,
of
Lord Captain.
issues possible. Okay, excellent. Wonder if, as a devil, I should accept Arden's proposal to give him the shard of the shield of Erodin. I don't remember that at all. Oh wait, you're probably not talking about Wrath of the Righteous. Shield of Erodin. I don't remember anything about that. I know a lot of people dislike the Lucianaire and Wrath of the Righteous, but at least it felt fleshed out with lots of things to explore and interact with. I don't get that from Act 3 in this game at all. I would say the world is not as interactive for Act 3 here as it was in Wrath of the Righteous. But I think it does have its high points. I am not as down on it as other people seem to be.
Incentive.
We will definitely discuss it when we get there, which should be shortly, hopefully. Very shortly. And oh, look at that! She's doing a massive amount of damage. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You'll be down before you know it. Uh-oh. In fact, we're gonna put you down right now. Bam.
Be gone.
Boo-boo. Not the best first contact with the world's inhabitants. I hope we will find someone more able to hold a conversation, willingly or not. Ooh, omniscient axe. I think that's the same one.
The world will bow.
Do I have to do anything with this? No, that's upstairs. Okay. I am talking about Wrath of the Righteous, yes. Yeah, I don't remember that quest. Act 3 here, everyone becomes stupid. Plot forces things to happen. Is it? I don't feel like they become stupid.
Intrigue.
I don't remember a situation where I felt like it's obvious that shouldn't happen. Lucianaire is just a Peter because of the camera rotation unblocked paths. Kuroka, what's going on? Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like that aspect of it. Me personally, I thought it was cool because I felt like it distinguished it from other areas you had already been in. So it didn't bother me. But I do understand it bothered a lot of other people. And it was irritating at first when it didn't work well. Like, the game needed a few patches before it finally got to the point where, all right, you can handle that mechanic with little to no issues. So I will say that. But once it was finally working properly, I didn't have an issue with it. There was someone here. It's a good place to hide or to set up another ambush. Blood mixed with machine oil is barely visible on the dark floor. I definitely took a break at the start of Act 3 because of how dumb it was. So I hated the Queen in Act 3. Cassia, you talking about Rogue Trader? Well, no! You know what? It wasn't even bad enough yet that I had to restart, but I just irritated myself by running through there. It's fine. Dog it. The start out feels railroaded, but I don't think the narrative is bad. That I agree with. I don't like the way it starts. I don't particularly care for the way it starts. That absolutely feels forced in, especially considering how much you've overcome up to that point. To say like
trembles beneath my
that someone could get the drop on you in that fashion just feels very odd and off. But the narrative, I have no issue with.
I'm still new to the art
I
of
tread a
exploring.
path unexplored.
There. What is it, Rogue?
Look no further. Let's patch you up.
Oh, thank you, Shane.
Let me help.
Guess I'm still alive.
Let's patch you up.
Thank you.
There we go. Not that big of a deal. I shouldn't have restarted in the first place. It's fine though. Talking about, especially the part where your ship is like road train is missing. Oh well, yeah, that I understand. Nemo, what's going on? One thing with Road Trader, with Wrath of Righteous, though, is that I flat out hated the illusionary section. Did not like it at all and rushed through it as fast as I could. Yeah, I know there are other players who feel the same way. What is it that you hated so much about it? Dark patches can be seen on the floor. They are smudged as though someone walked through them on the way to the floor footbridge. Like, is it that it's so much more different from the rest of the game? Is that what you find difficult to deal with?
Powers unseen uncover my path.
One and it's done.
What's this do? The wearer gains 10 ballistic skill and 25% critical damage. Pretty nice. Your character being stupidly weak and death and dialogue was bogus being a psyker and all. Makes sense. What's your overall opinion on melee builds in this game? Super powerful. I chose to do a pyro range character, and after going through the game that way, I would say that the melee version is superior. By the end of the game, they're equally powerful. In fact, the range might be a little bit more powerful, but you have to get into like the middle of Act 2 before range Psyker becomes really powerful. Whereas if you go melee Psyker, you could be a really powerful character pretty much right from the beginning. I didn't mind that it exposed cool parts around you, but when you're just trying to get your rooftops in my angel have Asmar wings, but had the dimension door, then you try to get it past somewhere, rotate the camera, and then stop. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I didn't like how different it was, but I also found the puzzles really annoying, and the constant perspective switching bits made getting around a huge pain. Thinking about doing a Bard demon run through. Last demon and only demon run through was a shifter. Bard run works well for anything. At least Jay never stopped trying to find me. Makes up for all the trouble 10 times over. Yeah, it seems like in both, it's odd that in both these games, Owlcat has decided to make Act 3 so significantly different from the rest of the game to varying results. I probably like my first time with Act 3 in Rogue Trader more than I like my first time in Act 3 for Wrath of the Righteous, but now with them all being completely patched and kind of settled, I'm not sure where I would rank them against each other. Soldier is ridiculous with officers. Absolutely. I like Scald more than Bard. Scald is really good. You know, I've actually never done a playthrough with a Scald. Although, from going through the mechanics, I know they're crazy, crazy powerful. A small, heavily augmented man in a filthy, tattered robe stands before you. As you approach, he hesitantly looks up at you, his eyes filled with horror. A portable inscriber with a keyboard hangs from straps at his front, and you can see his detached cerebral cogitator peeking out from under his hood. What's this? Another one of the cultist minions? The tech priest cowers behind his hands, whimpering pitifully. No, I'm not a cultist. They try to corrupt my mind with their heresy, but I ran. I am Manufactorum Lex Mechanic Zeta 86. I performed the rituals for the machine spirits of Foundry 95, up until we started going mad. Priests devoted to the Omnissiah suddenly started praising the dawn of something or other. They stopped the belts, and then they desecrated the visages of the sacred machines with unholy symbols. Some of them resisted, the others grabbed them, tied them up, and then they turned their implants to heresy. I saw the madmen, my former tech comrades, deliberately connect those poor souls to corrupted cogitators. I watched as they were infected with the scrap code. How did you manage to avoid the same fate? I didn't avoid it. They performed the same procedure on me. I felt the touch of unholy code. I allowed it to control me. I abandoned my sacred post and followed one of the traitors, serving his will and gathering all the data for his blasphemous experiments. I was driven by an unholy impulse coming from the depths of my auxiliary cogitator, where the code had lodged itself. Idira appears at the Lex Mechanic. The whispers are dancing around you, latching on to you, but not for long. Maybe it will happen yet. Maybe it won't happen at all. Before I found a way to throw off the compulsion, I witnessed horrifying heresy, the extraction of true flesh and its decomposition on altars, perverse procedures that resulted in hereditechnical abominations. I even accompanied a fallen Magos to the fabricator censor himself and attended the unholy mass he led personally. It was a wicked ritual, full of willful deviations and blatant inaccuracies, all to create an ungodly monster in the name of the final dawn. You don't act like the other priests who were infected with corruption. The Lex mechanic gestures at the wires and connectors spilling out from under his hood. Praise the gifts of the Omnissiah. I managed to disconnect my external cogitator, which I use for primary data processing. The machine is corrupted. The scrap code is locked inside it, like a beast in a cage. But anyone who tries to look inside will fall victim to the heretical program. My primitive brain has been marked by corruption. I still see their silhouettes, hear their interference. I sense the malfunctions in my augmetics, but I was still saved from the great sacrifice. Oh, blessed are the workings of the Omnissiah and its benediction that shelters the weak from evil. Heinrix tenses ever so slightly at the Lex mechanic's words. You can see his hand casually stray to the handle of his weapon, but the interrogator is in no hurry to act. You mentioned a monster. Is that some kind of weapon? No, not these constructs that are melted down in furnaces and sent into the depths of the manufacturer. It is some kind of semblance of a cogitator, a nightmarish parody of a sacred machine, powered not by the Omnissiah's grace, but by the unholy spirit and life force of the unfortunates imprisoned on the lower levels. I don't know much, except that the fabricator censor saw that machine as special. It was special to him and to the crazies who defiled the Omnissiah's abode with their obscene blasphemy. For the final ritual, he even called upon one of the Astartes heretics who arrived at the manufactorum after the start of the uprisings. He did something terrible, and only after that were they able to switch the machine on. It is a true abomination. Even standing near it is unbearable. I believe that even those who have been deprived of the Omnissiah's grace still feel its influence on them. Its monstrous power, utilized for unholy computations and chaotic calculations. Whatever that cogitator might spew out at the end of its cycle, no righteous soul should accept its heinous offering. How did your crazed comrades behave? Like the grace of the Omnissiah had left them entirely, replacing free thought and progress with blackest corruption. I witnessed them desecrating structures blessed by the fabricator censor himself. Though what do the blessings of that rotten traitor count for now? Like men possessed, they set up on the sacred instruments and assembled shells and nose that didn't match any diagram or blueprint I'd ever seen. Sacrilege. You mentioned someone in prison on the lower levels? The lay servants of the main units. They live in isolated segments under the sacred machine halls. I heard they were locked in there after the takeover. Then my crazed brethren changed the system for disposing of slag waste and covered the machines in cursed symbols. The Lex mechanic hesitates. After they started the cogitator, they dragged the survivors out of the segments under the machine halls. Well, what the survivors had turned into. Act 3 and Rogue Trader is worse just because you have to re-equip everyone. There's a case to be made there. In my first playthrough, I didn't have an issue getting all my equipment back, but I would know there was a bug about that, and yeah, it is true. You have to re-equip everyone even once you got it back. Glad you're back, man. Missed some videos. Hoping life is good and it's been the best day possible. Thanks for saying what's going on. Glad you're able to make the stream. Yeah, I got no complaints, man. Life has been all right. I got no complaints whatsoever. You demonstrate exceptional powers of observation and recall for someone who just happened to survive. I'm a Lex mechanic. Gathering data is the purpose of my existence. That's even what they use me for. He trails off, belatedly understanding the subtext to the interrogator's words. They use me against my will. The scrap code turns everyone into their slave. Before I rid myself of the cogitator, I was forced to serve alongside those who perpetuated these atrocities and witnessed their obscenities. Turned to Heinrix. What do you make of it? The interrogator tilts his head. Servant of the Omnissiah, I must know more about the final dawn, the fabricator's censor, his mask, and about this machine as well. I could give you the coordinates, but the Lex mechanic drops his head. Even though I was present for many blasphemies committed by those heretics, All the details that were captured and processed by my true flesh are in the augmetic that was corrupted by the scrap code. I am convinced that if I hadn't fought off that foreign compulsion in time, I would have been doomed. The corruption would have spread to my biological cogitator as well. The Lex mechanic taps a finger on the device hanging from his ear on several wires. I swear that no devout tech priest should come into contact with what's hidden in that one sacred device. Heinrich's expression shifts as he stares intently at the disconnected implant and the still intact connectors protruding from under the Lex mechanic's collar. The corner of his mouth twitches involuntarily. Abelard notices the look on Heinrich's face, and once he does, he sighs heavily and looks away. Can the cogitator be disconnected and reconnected to another machine? The Lex mechanic shakes his head in reproach. Even if the very idea of exposing a holy machine to the scrap code wasn't profane in itself, my augmetics are not universally compatible. They cannot be connected to another machine's spirit. They were created to interact with the system of my true flesh, to innervate my compulsor unit and output data via the inscriber. Once I am safe, I swear that I will immediately perform a cleansing rite and destroy. In other words, there is only one way to extract the data stored in the cogitator. What are you talking about? If we connect the cogitator to the augmetic system, the Lex mechanic will serve as a conduit for transmitting the data. We will learn the details, even if they are incomplete, of the things he saw and heard, but is now unable to recall. The Lex mechanic, who has been listening to your discussion in puzzlement, finally understands what is going to happen to him, and he begins to back away in fear. No, anything but that. I'll die. No, it'll be worse than that. I'll succumb to the corruption. I'm begging you, please. I'd rather be burned as a heretic than have the scrap code in my biological cogitator. At these words, Heinrix pauses for a fraction of a second, almost as if he is reconsidering. We cannot allow the information to go to waste. One life is a small price to pay for the good of the Imperium. Fortunately, it feels like there should be a heretic option, right? Like, it's kind of odd to me, even though you're definitely able to play as a heretic, you don't really get dialogue options that make it clear, hey, you can do this to corrupt a particular individual. I should be able to choose this option, but not because I'm dogmatic and care about the Imperium, but because I want to see Heinrix fall. And I feel like him doing this is a step in the right direction. Here's what it is. The exploit has been fixed. Oh, nice. Okay. For the good of the Imperium. Like a snake, Heinrix lunges at the Lex mechanic, whose mouth opens in the beginning of a squeal. Pinning the babbling Lex mechanic, Heinrix uses his free hand to feel for the connectors of the external cogitator, and then for the socket at the back of his captive's neck. The Lex mechanic struggles a few times, but when Heinrix twists the reel on the cogitator's hanging wires, the Lex mechanic lets out a chilling howl and arches his back sharply. His hands twitch and leap to the inscriber and begin typing furiously, pounding on the keys with huge force. Cassia, who has been stoically observing everything, flinches and averts her gaze when the Lex mechanic starts crushing his own fingers into a pulp. The scroll that creeps out of the inscriber's printer continues to grow, undulating in waves of parchment that settle on the floor. The crunch of breaking bones can scarcely be heard over the hammering of the keys. After several minutes, the Lex mechanic's fingers are well and truly crushed and blood is splattered over the inscriber. But that does not stop him trying in vain to press the keys with the scraps of bone and skin that remain. Heinrix tears off the parchment and skims his eyes over it, sometimes frowning and looking away as though his eyes are paining him. It will take time to study this in full, but at first glance, the data from the Lex Mechanic's cogitator suggests something of the nature of the cult's major preparations, refitting the manufactorum, accumulating resources, mentions of focus points. These are preparations for a large-scale chaos ritual. It appears the local cogitator, whatever that may be in actuality, is one of the key points in this list. We can learn more if we find the construct that was created on the fabricator sensor's orders. The coordinates are here. It is located here in the bowels of the manufactorum. Heinrix casts a final look at the Lex Mechanic, now locked forever in a cycle of mindless motion, and turns away. We had better hurry. rough. It looks like he could be corrupted, but it's not working great. Yeah, like my understanding is he can go down to the steps of heresy, but I feel like the game should be a little bit more direct about making it clear, hey, you're
Nothing's
successfully
impossible
doing
for
that.
this old officer.
And
The world will
I'm not getting
bow.
that from the game at all. You know, I compare it to similar experiences like Knights of the Old Republic, you know, if you're pulling somebody to the dark side. The screen of this cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating technolingua. Staring at the obscure symbols gives you a headache.
The whispers told me a secret.
A tome. Oh, okay, yeah. Same as the one we had before.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Uh-oh. Oh. He looks unfortunate. The massive Magos, clad in ritual garb, lets out a Ben-Hard trill and turns to you. From beneath the deep hood of his mantle, two dimly lit eye implants gaze out at you. You hear another Ben-Hard tirade, this time clearly addressed at you. What's the matter, little tin comrade? Implants on the blink? Forgotten how to speak properly? You dare address me in the vile tongue of savages? Me, the steward of Kiavagama, lord of the machine world? Kneel, pathetic spawn, if you seek swift disposal. Kiavagama belongs to House Von Valancius, with whose scion you have the honor of speaking. You are one of the Troglodytes who once had the gall to oppress my comrades and resist my will, a messenger from the barbarian who drank the sacred unguents bestowed upon her through others' toil? Very well then, your appearance is the perfect opportunity to teach your ilk a lesson. My name is Cubus Delphum. I once held the title of Fabricator Censor of the Kiavagama Manufactorum, but I rejected it, along with the other fetters that hindered progress. Once, my faith was flawed and led naive fools from the cult mechanicus into the darkness of ignorance. Now I am this world's master and serve the true gods. You tread upon their territory, and you do not number among their legion servants. Therefore, you must be subject to immediate disposal. What did you do to the governor of Kiavagama? Is he alive? The removal of unserviceable artifacts was the first step toward retooling this world. Only my tech comrades heeded the call of truth that reached into their cogitators and allowed them to pierce the veil of empty dogmas. Poor old Caprak. 10 or so years back, he told me he felt uneasy in the presence of the Tin Can comrades. I mean, the esteemed Adeptus Mechanicus. He casually complained about not having been dealt a normal planet. I'll have to honor his memory with a prayer, once we have finished purging this place. Abelard brandishes his weapon. Thankfully, the Fabricator Censor here did not require any coercion to confess to treason. So, you have traded one master for another? I would have expected the Fabricator Censor to be smarter than that. The Fabricator Censor's box lets out a piercing, barely audible sound that makes your insides shudder. I will whip out your spinal column and braid it around my staff, you arrogant creature. This is my world, and it will serve only me. Even a cursory analysis of the data shows that the probability of this outcome is negligible. You, like your predecessor, are but an artifact of certain calculations, one that requires minimal resources to revise. You may be driven by your will to fight, but know this. Kiavagama has already been converted, its lines have been restructured, and its servants have already tasted the fruits of progress. In the crucibles of this manufactorum, poured liquid metals will be used to forge vessels for sacred spirits. The adepts are already tirelessly delving deeper into new mysteries that were once barred by false tenets. You servants of fake gods are too late. The entire might of this world will soon rise up against the anathema and his slaves. why I like deranged tin cans like you? When you're killed, you leave behind plenty of useful spare parts. I think I'll make a portable recap machine out of you. Comrades, purge the manufactorum of any random variables. I must prepare for the culmination of our great work. Love his look. Shocked the crap out of me the first time I saw that guy. Because, of course, I'm not familiar with Warhammer lore, so I didn't know anything about those type of guys. Really, really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Sonora said, what's going on? How are you? Yeah, Mech Spider is right. Said it before, and I'll probably say it again, but this game does a great job showing what a nightmare the Imperium is. I 100% agree. This is Event Horizon, the game. Andrew, what's going on, man? How are you? Happy Saturday for the future. Oh, that's right. You are ahead of us. Yeah, I'll be there with you in an hour. But yeah, love the design of that creature, and I like the overall storyline of this place as well. The fact that it used to just be a regularly running area, and then this guy pretty much lost his marbles, and now we need to come and deal with him. Pretty cool stuff.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
That was a problem for you.
And I like Heinrich's involvement in the story here as well.
This.
I think all of it is pretty well done.
The Inquisition taught me many things.
Embrace true power.
As you approach the Cogitator, you notice a number of deep scratches left by huge claws on its metal surfaces. Despite the apparent damage, the machine seems to be in working condition. Activate the emergency bridge lowering protocol. You touch the levers and the reels on the control panel and disturb the slumber of the spirits that reside within this Cogitator. The machine dawdles as if still drowsy, but nevertheless performs its assigned function. Nice. The Cogitator is silent, awaiting new commands. View the log. The log contains nothing of interest. The maintenance ritual schedule for the sacred machine that moves the bridge, an activation log, and a few notes of a religious nature entered by tech priests. Step away. Come on.
Intriguing.
Goods. What's this? The screen of this Cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating technolingua. Staring at the obscure symbols gives you a headache.
The world will bow.
Excellent. Is there anything over here? Looks like no. Athletics.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
If they would live where tech moguls never go nuts and run their enterprise into ruin. Oh man, that is funny.
Powers unseen
That is
uncover
funny.
my path.
Ooh. Especially considering, well, I take that back. I don't know if Embracer Group is a technology group, but still, from Twitter to other things, it seems like tech moguls have kind of lost their mind. Something is howling within the metal housing, as if the machine spirits of the Cogitator are lamenting some irreparable loss. Tech use. Force access to the Cogitator systems. Your knowledge of machine spirits is sufficient to trick the system and subdue it to your will. A false query, a crafty manipulation of the controls, and you get what you want. You gain access to the Cogitator systems. The device's machine spirit can do nothing to thwart you. Subdued by its defeat, it hides in the depths of this lair. Awaken the Cogitator's machine spirit. You touch the levers and reels. Same thing before. Woo-hoo! Then them ranks a little bit. It's silent. Step away. All right. I remember this being a nice, big, nasty fight. So we'll see how this goes. All right, got a bunch of people over here. Got a few people over here as well. Let's
How may I serve the dynasty?
let's start with y'all.
Anything else?
There we go. Excellent way to start. Excellent way to start. Let's see. She can deal with these guys over here. You. I guess makes sense. You do. She can go here. Oh crap, that's right. You know what, she might as well start here, because giving Idira another go at it is the first thing she's gonna want to do. And you know what, here, you can go up here, you can go over here. Deal with him for, oh, he lost some health too. Well, isn't that nice? Alright. Idira. Ooh. Oh, he's a little bad boy, isn't he? He got 109 left. He's got, yeah, this guy's actually easier to take out. So, you know what, we'll focus on you first. Yep, and uh-oh. What just happened? Oh, that was Jay. And Jay got knocked down. Well, that's not cool. Damn. That kind of blows up a lot of what I was going to do. We're at basically the end of Act 2. This is the last planet I need to do before we move on. I mean, there's one other smaller planet in the Rogue Trader ceremony, but we're pretty close to the end of Act 2. So if not this go around, then the next one. Oh my God, Cassia's on the ground as well. Oh, this is really unfortunate. He just obliterated 4 of my people at one time. Holy smokes. All right, this is a wash apparently. That didn't go the way I thought it would. Thanks a lot, Idira. As powerful as you are, sometimes things just don't go well. Wow. I think he took out the 4 of us and killed himself all at the same time. Wow. That was a hell of a kamikaze run. Damn. Wow, what happened? Why is there strawberry jab everywhere? Especially companions formerly known as something else. Chain lightning does that to you. Mm-hmm. All right, let's try this again, y'all. Let's try this again. What? And now it automatically started? All right, fine. You know what? Here. We're going to put a deer here, and then you know what? I'm not going to put anybody right next to her. How about that? How about we're just going to leave a deer on a little island by herself. And Abelard, honestly, Abelard doesn't even need cover, but we'll put him over here. We'll put Cassia back here because she's got so much movement. She can get around wherever she wants to. All right, let's give this another go. Idira. You obliterate all them. I should have made one of them pray. Kept forgetting to do that, but it's fine.
Was that
And now, of course, he didn't even he didn't take any damage from it, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Lower accurate psychers. True. What's going on, JV? Suicide Sorcerer. Yeah, I mean, I actually respect it, even though it annoyed the hell out of me. I respect it, no doubt. Marcus, what's going on? You're never late, man. You're right on time. It's all good. You are right on time, sir. This and this. And we'll do this. back to back, basically. You know, here. They're basically going back to back anyway. Here, do this, and we'll do this. And there you go, there. Will this reach him? Oh, it will. So let's see if we can stun him. Excellent. And yep, successful. And did she see? She can see. There we go. And there we go. Now you all. Are you all? Oh no, you all are not just a gang full of scrubs. So let's do this. And then we're gonna do this. She can't get all four. For real, she can't get all four? That kind of sucks. Alright. Alright, there's only one, like, true heavy hitter here. So you will do this. Excellent. And then, yep. Excellent. And then you... Oh, both of you, in fact. And then, let's see. And then finally, you.
Me. If you insist.
And fortunately, she can't move anywhere, so we'll just leave it at that.
High momentum.
Hey, look at that. Heroic action. At least they toned that down from tabletop. What? How powerful psychers are? Ooh, she can do that as well. But it wouldn't reach, right? Ooh, but it does quite a bit of damage, so something to keep in mind. Alright, she will give herself a boost in willpower. Allow herself to damage him even more. And is there anything else that I guess we can do this. Dodge and parry will help Heinrix out some. And then first we'll start with this. Shouldn't impact any of my teammates. And then we'll do this. And it should absolutely obliterate you. And it does. Alright. And now it's time for Commander Highlander. What? You're kidding me. No. Okay, cool. Did that. And you're out of there. Excellent. I could have made you pray first, but it's fine. But can I? Yep. May not really be worth it, all things considered, but we'll see. All right, that's done. That's done. Now it's Heinrix. And Heinrix really shouldn't be running out there, so we'll chill out here, chill up here for a bit. Come on, man. Why can't I just sit it here? There we go. That's about as good as it's gonna get. And give myself a boost. Give myself that. Can I weaken it? Is it close enough to weaken any of you? Nope. Give myself that. And any of you in firing range, I guess. Maybe do a little bit. Nope, that didn't work either. It's fine. Ooh. Down for the count. Down for the count. Unfortunately, I don't think, yeah, there's nobody who I can actually reach with this, right? How is it I can hit the canister, but it's not, yeah, no, it's not happening. So, Avalar will give you some of this. And, that's about it. Now it's our full turn. Joys upon joys.
So I
There we go. We'll do that. And you know what? Really sure you can always get some more AP. Boom, boom, boom. 48% chance of hitting. Oh wow! I can't even target you from here. Yeah, I'm not getting closer. That's just asking to get blown up. So we're gonna have to chill. How dangerous they are to themselves, enemies, and friends. Tabletop, you can make planets disappear on very bad rolls. Oh wow, that's crazy. So metaphysical more 40K or something else. I would say they probably go back to Pathfinder. Some people think that they're about to create their own IP, which of course is possible, but I feel like they know there's huge demand for another Pathfinder game. And so, you know, I don't know. I always like to see creativity, so I'm not saying I would be against seeing them do their own game, but I'm not as geeked about it as some other people seem to be. All right. Do I want to come out here? How many? 4? No, we're going to chill. We're going to chill. Let them come to us. See what happens. Yep, there we go. I'm good with this. Very good with this. All right. Woo-hoo! Attack. That. And some more of that. And chill on that. He could. Oh, those two are gone. Oh, so these two, these are the last ones up, and he's not close enough to be able to do anything with them. So we'll do that. Do that. Oops. And we'll do that. You can pop like a grape from the heat. Players were very different from one thing. Powers always be dangerous, but dialing back the power increased success chance. Pushing made powers both harder and more dangerous, almost never worth it. I trust it to make a whole rule system from scratch. What's going on, Godzilla? How are you? I like them to stick with Pathfinder and make their own. Just be different from other CRPGs. They're good at some things, but not sure if rule sets are it. I like Pathfinder 2E. How do you feel about the possibility of Owlcat making their own world completely from scratch? Because to me, that's kind of the real issue. The advantage of going to Pathfinder, Warhammer, and all these other properties is that the lore is already firmly in place. So they get to take advantage of essentially what's already been built. Whereas if they did their own game, they'd basically have to create all that from scratch, which frankly could be asking a lot. And I think that's where my real concern is. Building an entire world from scratch is no freaking joke. Like, if you think about it, there's only a few developers that have really pulled that off well, where they have entire worlds that people are like, oh man, I just want as many games as possible in this world as they'll be willing to give me. You know, there's not many game properties I can think of that make me feel that way. And so that's my real concern when I think about Owlcat doing their own game. Good dog it. I didn't realize. I didn't realize she wasn't close enough to be able to do this. That would be my concern. Vagrant, what's going on, man? Yeah, I got no complaints, dude. How are you? Seeing as how last time they were allowed to run around, they came up with Civvy Simulator. What are you talking about? I don't trust. Got to come up with their own system. Alcat basically built the combat and character advancement in this game from scratch. I think they can manage an original system. Yeah, I'm not worried about the mechanics. It's the lore that I'm worried about. Rule sets are a load of work too. But Alcat has proven that they can make good rule sets. Like Pathfinder, a lot of it comes from the base game, but a lot of it they created on their own, and I think they did a fantastic job. So that part I'm not worried about. It's the lore that concerns me. Man, this kind of screws everything up because I don't think there's anything she can do. We'll go here. Oh, you know what? She can give an extra turn. She could give an extra turn to you. That's what she can do. She can give an extra turn to you. And you come out as far as you can. And then say, hey, y'all need to come up here. Yep. Y'all need to come up here. Wish she could do that again, but she can't, so we'll just do that. Hopefully they want to abandon this game before fixing most of it first, or Wrath of the Righteous. Yeah, no, they already have 2 DLCs planned. I still believe they will come up with. They will fail when coming up with their own stories. Really? Same with the real side. I don't know if they're capable of creating things from scratch. I'm not sure about making their own IP. They've done a really amazing job to adapt to other people's IP. I agree. They be new to world building. Yep, the advantage of the fans that comes with a license is huge, big for sales. I think they're too small of a company to pull it off. Considering the balancing of Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, please no homebrew system. So far, so good. Yep, glad you're able to make the stream, man. Glad things are going okay with you. The last 2 DLCs for Wrath. Oh, yeah, of course. I forgot. You're not a fan of those whatsoever. That's true, Marcus. A lot of studios do start with things like that in order to land the big IP deal. But the question is Owlcat ready for the big IP deal? All right. Now, as much as I love them, as much as I love their games, do I feel like they're ready? I think that's kind of questionable. It's kind of questionable. I'm pretty much on record in my reviews for their games that I feel like some of them have been released in a state that I don't feel like is quite right. And considering that, it makes me wonder if they're crap. Did I hit Idira? I think I did hit Idira. Not paying attention to what I was doing. Considering that, I would want them to be more stable in their releases before they decide to do their own game. Because, like someone else stated, releasing games that were for major properties that are already well liked makes it easier for people to forgive bugs, issues, and problems because they love the world so much, right? But if Owlcat didn't have that to fall back on, I think some of the games that they have released would have done worse than they actually did. But again, that's my 2 cents. It doesn't really mean anything. Maybe they are absolutely 100% ready to go for the gusto. Not gonna lie, Pillars of Eternity is the only recent game setting that really managed to make my imagination run wild. Obsidian has some misses, but when they hit, they hit. As far as original settings go, that is. Did you play Disco Elysium? Because that was an original setting, and I felt like they really, really went for it and did well there. Baldur's Gate 3 is all right, but it's so basic. There's so much cooler stuff these days. I agree. I agree. It would be nice to see some other things do well. Valorian Warhammer 40K have a decade plus of lore now. I really like how they explore that and flesh that out. Exactly. They could pull a Witcher, get the rights to a setting, and make an original game with it. That's an interesting thought. Like if they took Pathfinder but decided to do their own story instead of going with one of the ones that's already created. But again, the question becomes, can Owlcat, well, see, here's the thing. I don't know anything about Rogue Trader Tabletop. How much of the story that we see here is from the tabletop, and how much of it is custom created? Is there anybody in the chat who played Rogue Trader Tabletop who can provide some perspective on that? Because my understanding for both Wrath of the Righteous and Kingmaker, a lot of the story beats that you go through in those games are ripped straight from tabletop. So I'm not sure if Owlcat has ever been in a position where they basically had to create a whole storyline from scratch, you know. So I would still have more faith in them in doing something like that, because they don't have to build the world and all the lore from scratch. And so I think that's more feasible. Looking at the unending symbols make your eyes water. She failed that check. That sounds more feasible, but still it's reaching for a scope that they've never proven they're able to do before. So it's still a stretch. Yours cool, but there's a big risk of sales if avowed. Yep. Absolutely, there's a risk. Getting bored and rolling a new character. Nemo, you got to finish it. It's got a fantastic ending. It's kind of a big IP. Absolutely. There's a lot of stories they could tell in 40K. You got a piece of land, the second big style. Okay. Nah, 40K is a massive IP. I mean, I'd honestly say that 40K might be as big as D&D. Because 40K reaches into some areas D&D doesn't. And I don't think there's anything D&D does that 40K doesn't do. But the whole figures system that they have, where people paint their figures and have their wars back and forth, like D&D doesn't really have anything like that set up, at least as far as I know. Access was also slightly disappointing, not as disappointing as the other two. Yep, I wasn't satisfied with it. Disco Elysium. Yep. Okay. So yeah, that was definitely a unique world where I felt like, man, they've created a world, an entire world that I would like to see another game in. Unfortunately, we got some really bad news about the developer recently. Like some of the major figures had already left, and I think they just did a large amount of layoffs recently as well. So it's questionable if we're ever going to get a sequel to that game. And certainly questionable, even if we get a sequel, whether or not it'll be up to the same quality as the first one. The broken panel of the cogitator is sparking. Its blind dark screen showing nothing. To go to freaking space and actually mess with the timeline. Yep, exactly. I expected to actually go to Axios. And not doing that was disappointing for me. Check out the problem that it's extremely open-ended. There are no real published adventures. Expanse is pretty much bare bone in the tabletop. Okay, so that means that a lot of this story then Owlcat basically came up with. So at least with more just pure amazing characters and narrative writing than the setting itself, I suppose. I disagree, because I really want a sequel to that game, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that same character. I think it is the writing, like I guess maybe it wouldn't be world building so much as tone. The tone of the game and how it's constructed felt so different that I want another crack at that type of world, you know? So you're right, the actual setup of the world itself isn't as intriguing as it is in a series like Dragon Age or Witcher or something of that sort, but it still created something wholly unique that I want more of. Disco Elysium, Warhammer, Pill, turning to some extent, oh god, a lot more political than Pathfinder or D&D, and I think it worked out great for all of them. They all feel more adult to me, and that's what really is really appealing. Absolutely, I feel like some of the other RPGs, they're trying to make sure they appeal to everybody instead of creating something that adults who actually want to think about the dialogue that they're seeing, you know, can delve into. And so I feel like they did a much better job of that. There's not an arc thing that has to be locked in. The story is actually well done for what is available in Rogue Trader. Interesting, interesting. Droid, Winter Skull, and the Inquisitor are there, but it's pretty bare. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. So again, that definitely gives me some faith that Owlcat can craft the story from scratch if they're giving some bare bones to work with. DE2 was canned. That's so weird to me because they have a freaking TV show coming out. They have a deal with Amazon where Disco Elysium TV show is supposed to be released. So why wouldn't you also have a game come out to take advantage of that? The people running that studio have absolutely taken gold and run it into the ground. Run it into the freaking ground. Maybe Owlcat should get a chance to do Vampire. That would be amazing. I think Owlcat would probably make an amazing Vampire the Masquerade game. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Especially since, like I just said, they're very good at making games that are adult. You know, so that's a world that I would absolutely trust them with. We had a conversation before about Larian Studios doing the next Vampire the Masquerade game. I think I'd probably trust Larian more. The Cogitators panel has, that's the same thing it said, view the log. You discover the local data crypt with contents collected by either previous operators or the machine spirit itself. Using your access, you study the archive stored on the Cogitator. Review the supply protocol. This doesn't look like it's all that important. Reviewing Ascension protocol. He's corrupting everybody, bottom line. Where is the third one? Oh, up there. Okay. No problem. Oh, damn, it says Disco Elysium was a masterpiece. Awful that didn't elevate the company. Instead, they crashed and burned. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, dude. Really unfortunate. They did multiple bad decisions over the years. I don't deny most of these wounds are self-inflicted. I absolutely agree. Most of these wounds are self-inflicted. Most of this game is Owlcat original. That's actually really impressive. Really, really impressive. Didn't go and run away with it as a story of past few years for more than one company. I think Larian would do a more interesting take, especially since relationships and visceral impact are huge in World of Darkness. See, on the one hand, I think Larian does really interesting things with relationships, and it's part of the reason why Baldur's Gate 3 is doing so well. But on the other hand, I question whether or not they'll get quite as dark as I would want things to be for a Vampire the Masquerade game. Now, Baldur's Gate 3 absolutely is more dark than any game they've done before, and so it gives me more confidence that they would do that than I would have had before. But I still question it a little bit. Still question it a little bit. I'll be honest, I think if this upcoming game doesn't hit big, we might not get another Vampire game for a good while. To be honest with you, the system accepts the access codes. The clanging of movement bolts indicates that the door has been unlocked. To be honest with you, I'm kind of the exact opposite thinking, because it seems like what has happened is Paradox wants to milk the IP. So they want to create a situation where they're only going to work with developers where they can get an extremely good deal and basically force developers to kind of pay them to use the IP. And it's part of the reason why more reputable studios haven't taken a crack at it. I think if this crashes and burns right on the heels of Swan Song crashing and burning, I think it forces Paradox to say, okay, we might have to go ahead and try to get a reputable studio to take a crack at this lore, and that means we have to create a split with this studio that somebody who has a little more cachet would be willing to accept, as opposed to working with these smaller studios who will basically accept whatever comes and then hoping they can put out a regular game and people just buy it. So I don't feel like a failure is really the end of the IP at all. I think Paradox needs to do a better job with how they're using the IP and cultivating relationships. Vampire the Match Race CRPG would be amazing. Absolutely. What do you mean Owlcat does Hunter? And a Masquerade original publisher was in trouble for quite some time too. They got bought by the people who run EVE Online and they didn't release any material for years. Now Paradox has. That's true. They fell on hard times. Magic the Ascension game. Is they're thinking of money first instead of good story first. That's true for a lot of them. There is not. Not against their chance. Simply dies or sold as an IP. It hasn't made money for decades now. Didn't Paradox let go of the license? No, I believe Paradox still has it. I never saw the American Gods TV show. Is it still worth seeing, even though it basically got canceled? It's good. Shows the line, staring at you, gives a headache. Same deal. Same deal. Same deal. Numerous wires and pipes run to the filthy cages, which are filled with what looks like a conglomeration of human bodies. You cannot make out who is in the cage, but bright blue sparks flash intermittently in the darkness, while the mass of flesh twitches and shudders. Heinrix casts a scrutinizing eye over one of the cages before withdrawing his weapon and approaching and examining what lies inside. Look at the cage closest to you. Through the metal bars, you see it truly is a pile of human bodies, or something that used to be. The monstrously deformed bodies have fused together in places, while others were severed using saws and knives, leaving wounds seeping pus and slime, wounds that are agglutinating and sprouting tendons, rods connected to wires that run to a nearby cogitator bristle across the flesh. One of the human heads turns to you. Mercy. Even attempting to speak causes the mutant pain, but he bears the agony and forces out the words. Mercy. Make it stop. Study the mutant closely. You examine the pulsating mass of flesh. The creature in the cage seems to be composed of several bodies joined together. You see no sutures or any other means by which the separate parts could have been connected. Among the layers of meat, you can discern large knots of muscle, various limbs, exposed bones, parts of faces, and entire heads. Only warp sorcery is capable of creating such an abomination while preserving its ability to live on. Who are you? Foreman from Sector Hertz. Mercy. The mutant falls silent for a few moments, but then his voice comes back stronger. Foreman from Boiler 3. We're from the lower levels. The final words were drawn out by a moan. Heinrix takes in his surroundings and once again fixes his attention on the contents of the nearest cage. I'm beginning to have some idea. The Lex Mechanic mentioned the inhabitants of the lower levels who had been imprisoned in their homes. He said some of them were brought here. The cultists did something to those poor people in their own home, and now they're studying the result. The Lex Mechanic talked about some kind of slag waste disposal and chaos symbols on machines. What are the archenemy's minions doing to the people of the lower levels? To know the workings of dark sorcery means allowing corruption into oneself. Heinrich scowls. These are warp mutations, no doubt. Perhaps there was some side effect, and that is why they were brought here, to be connected to sensors and cogitators. Even fallen tech priests who have rejected the Omnissiah are driven by a perverted hunger for knowledge. Why are they hooked up to cogitators? Heinrich carefully studies the screens of the computing machines. Linguin Technis, corrupted by the scrap code, I'm sure. It's unlikely we will be able to extract anything of value from their data crypts. Thinking, Heinrich clenches his fist and bites down on a knuckle, and then recoils when the mutant from the nearest cage reaches a hand out to him through the bars. You. A female face watches you from within the gloom of the cage. Even though half of her head has been turned into a mess of bones and lump and gross, her single eye looks at you with a surprising amount of intelligence. You promised us. Her words are echoed by other voices in the depths of the cages. Heinrich leans toward the cage, but at sufficient distance to ensure that the mutant cannot reach him. Who are you talking to? What did they promise you? Who are they? You took us from the inferno. You promised us a reward. Her face contorts in a grimace, and the creature's lips stick together like melted wax. I'll be damned. They can still speak. They remember the people who did this to them. Heinrix balls his fist in powerless rage. Then he frowns in thought. Perhaps a little biomancy will allow us to draw the fragments of knowledge out of them, or it will trigger further changes. Idira curses furiously. A little biomancy? This is a tangle of flesh and bone that, by some freakish miracle, still happens to have a soul and a mind. Come on, Iceman, let them die in peace already. Heinrix turns to Idira. You do not see his face, but you do see Idira suddenly shrink and cast her eyes down. What do you want to do? My psyker abilities allow me to affect the human body. It is one of the most effective tools to use against individuals who resist questioning. But if you're suggesting that I want to use it, I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself. The effect of warp energy will likely lead to an explosive reaction. I do not know the precise mechanism of this mutation. The result could be even more monstrous than its current state. If there's something that will make them talk, we must use it. Heinrix nods. Yes, it's possible another person will refuse to make such a choice, but we can use this situation to help the investigation. I'm not going to argue with you. It seems to me your mind is already made up. I mean, this seems like the most heretical option, right? To cause it pain in order to draw out more information. The first season was good. I never saw the rest. The book was amazing. Oh, that's right. Is it based on like a comic book or something? It was okay for the visuals. They tried to drag it out too much. It's one book. It could have been handled better, as with Good Omens. Great casting help there too. EVE Online has a very low fan base. After this game, do you choose which chaos you want to spread? No. It's just you choose chaos in general, which I hope if they do a sequel to this game is something that they change. I would love the opportunity to worship a specific chaos god. Sludnesh all the way. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw grandmother's wedding. EVE Online, sure that. Only a handful of people here play EVE Online, probably less than 10,000. If Laren did a vampire game, they would probably put Amelia Tyler in it, which is something I never knew I needed until just now. That would be pretty awesome. 1,000 total. More puffers than people. Heinrix hesitates for a moment, then closes his eyes and raises one hand. You are enveloped by an otherworldly chill. The mass of flesh in the cage suddenly rears up. The mutant wrenches open its glued together lips and begins wailing frantically. The shrieking is echoed by a chorus of howls and tortured moans coming from the neighboring cages. The mutant changes before your eyes. The tumors recede like an ebbing tide, revealing an emaciated female face twisted in agony. The woman gasps for air, stretching her now mobile neck, and exclaims, "Liar! You promised to kill me. You promised me deliverance. Every one of you, everyone told me to have hope and the pain would go. Accept the truth, for that is hope. My only hope is to be freed from this pain. Please make it so. Make it so." A lump of flesh behind her head shudders and sends out smooth, fat tentacles that cover her wailing face and drag it into itself. You feel the pressure in your ears. From the cage, you hear a steady, almost imperceptible sound that fills you with horror and despair. Croxseed. Jay barely breathes the word, not sounding at all like herself. With a sigh, Heinrix lowers his hand and looks at what the creature within the cage has become. A wetly gleaming mass of meat and gristle that no longer bears any hint of its human origins. It pulses vigorously. And that's it? The limitations of dying people? No, not just that. What it said about hope sounds like a lie of chaos, which it uses to take root in weak minds. I believe the corrupted tech priests repeated this phrase like an echo of what had been instilled in them. Whatever the cult of the Final Dawn is planning, false hope is a key component of their plan. It's a lead, a small one, but still a lead. That's that then. But do you know what bothers me, Rogue Trader? The number of people here. There are too few. The lower levels of similar manufactorums are inhabited by millions. What happened to the rest of them? Heinrich shakes his head. I know I won't like the answer. Let's go. We still haven't done what we came here to do. Brutal.
Intriguing.
Nurgle, always fun. Oh, you missed it. We went to a planet that was completely infested with Nurgle worshippers. We had to wipe them all out. It was good times. Hedonistic. Oh yeah, all day, every day. Yeah, allowing us to swear fealty to the specific Chaos God to potentially become chosen, something like that would be so cool. Hopefully the next game allows for something like that. We'll see. And hopefully this game did well enough that another game is possible. I have no idea how well or not well Rogue Trader actually sold. The massive cogitator grows out of the metal bulkheads like a grotesque tumor. A hollow roar sounds from deep within the metal housing. Whatever spurred the computer into action, it has enough power to supply a small command center. As soon as your eyes fall upon the cogitator, you feel a tingling in your temples. Every nook, every component of the machine radiates a sense of wrongness, one that is difficult to explain, but no less palpable for that. It is as though the construct itself defies the laws of physics and perspective. Heinrix makes a warning gesture. His voice, ringing slightly with tension, is threaded with disquiet. Stop, Commander Highslander. That is a creation of the arch enemy. Don't go near it. You have done enough for me and my mission. Don't put yourself at risk now. As soon as Heinrix takes another step toward the cogitator, it emits a deafening shriek like hundreds of metal needles driving into toughened glass, as though sensing the stranger. Wincing, Heinrix approaches the control panel and bends down towards the screens. Despite the heat clogging the room, you feel an ice-cold breeze. Heinrix is clearly using his psyker abilities to try to fend off the pernicious effects of the Chaos artifact. Approach the cogitator. Heinrix is too engrossed in his examination of the control panel to stop you. You draw closer to the side section of the cogitator housing, which has several thick cables running from it. With each step toward the flickering screens, you're feeling that the cogitator is watching you with rapidly blinking eyes grow stronger and stronger. Up close, you see that besides buttons, switches, and toggles, the cogitator casing is also covered in strange writing. Logic, study the screens. The cogitator displays a wall of text on its screens. The string of symbols is a senseless mixture of numbers, formulas, and unfamiliar characters. There seems to be no logic to it, and yet there is no doubt that the cogitator is computing calculations on a prodigious scale. Examine the writing on the casing. Idira suddenly appears by your side and tugs at your sleeve. Lord Captain, no. Please don't. Just don't look. The whispers say nothing good will come of it. You really should just step away from that thing. Look at the cables. A bundle of cables is coming from the broken side panel of the cogitator. They were clearly added after the machine came off the manufacturer's production line. The wires snake along the floor and disappear inside a maintenance hatch that leads to somewhere down below. Step back from the cogitator. You take a step backward, and suddenly one of the cogitator screens changes color, becoming a bright yellow. Your eyes are helplessly drawn to the bilious hue. You turn sharply away from the screen, and you can almost feel invisible shackles falling away. The realization comes a moment later. You are not fighting against your own curiosity, but against someone's malevolent will, which has now lost its hold on you. Interesting. It triggered my willpower automatically. That's cool. It's very Zach of you. It's pretty niche, I admit. From what I've seen, they got a lot correct so far. I think this game is great. Okay, games yet to disclose the official sales figures for Rogue Trader, but it's definitely a commercially successful release. Following its launch, the game debuted at number 5 on Steam's week top. Seems decent enough. Nice! I hope so. I hope so. False Page, what's going on, man? How are you? I'm still surprised isometric is still kicking hard. Yeah, I hope it does so for quite a while to come. I really enjoy isometric RPGs. I enjoy the more action or third-person RPGs as well, but isometric allows developers to do something special, and I feel like it's a lot easier for some of the indie developers as well. Keep your distance and wait. A minute passes, then another. You watch Heinrix examine the cogitator. His eyes scan the screens, his hands darting from the reel to the lever, sometimes hovering uncertainly over the next switch, which immediately receives a coating of frost. At some point, you hear his voice, almost a whisper, barely audible above the clanging, roaring machine. Sacrifices. More and more sacrifices every minute. Heinrix looks at you, his eyes darker now, appearing almost black in his white face. Hectome Domanians, the womb of this cursed machine, is down on the lower levels. The auxiliary enumerator controls the system for delivering molten waste under the Manufactorin's main building. This cogitator is fueled by the energy harnessed from thousands of people who are flowing beneath our feet as slag waste as we speak. But I cannot even imagine the reason for sacrificing all these people. It's inconceivable. Now we know why the fabricator sensor prized this monster so highly. The cursed tech priest and his associates created something that went beyond the limits of the omniscience power. This machine is designed to process myriad possibilities using warp sorcery. It has almost finished its task. It predicts the future, Commander High Slanderer. It predicts the future? How is that even possible? Do not attempt to gain any insight into the essence of the machines corrupted by the archenemy, at least not if you value your soul. I have encountered the Heretic's mechanical abominations before. To truly fathom their nature is to allow a particle of death into your heart. Heinrix is silent for a few moments, but the fruit they bear, no matter how abhorrent their instruments, the fruit they bear could be useful. Idira opens her mouth to speak, but then drops her gaze awkwardly. Heinrix stares stonily at the cogitator screen. Yes, let's allow the machine to finish its calculations. I wish to know what precisely the cult's minions were so desperate to see in the future. Perhaps if we were to increase the power, it would be finished sooner. Heretical. We need to let the cogitator finish his task. Otherwise, thousands of people will have died for nothing. Heinrix vacillates for another moment, and his hands come to rest on the cogitator switches. I will accelerate the process so that everything is over as soon as possible. The cogitator screens flash, and the guttural roar in its depths turns into a frantic shriek that seems to contain the death cries of thousands. Heinrix bends over the keys and flinches as if from an electric shock. His head snaps back unnaturally, and you see his lips moving. The cogitator lets out a roar that grows louder by the second. Prepare for battle! I don't think isometric is going anywhere at this point. It's a very good entry point into gaming for people who are introduced through tabletop RPGs. So that might just be Baldur's Gate 3. Yep, I think it's looking very strong, at least right now. You can charge in. You can charge in. You don't really need to be close. You definitely don't need to be close either. I guess. There, oh, man, they're kind of run out of cover. What do I want? You know what? We'll just stick you way back here, alright, and deal with you later. Okay. There, make it happen. Here. Oh, you know what? That's not gonna do much. I didn't even do that last time. Alright. Now she's next up. She can do... Okay, here. You can do this. And this. No. Hopefully. Hey, when it does, I hate that you can't control the manner in which it. Oh, fine. Rear. And that's all she wrote. All right, now you. You will do Marazhai Slander. And here we'll do supercharge this. Put you back here. Make it even harder for you to duck anything. And Idira. Make the magic happen. Excellent. This is the part where heretical options would make so much sense. Yeah, absolutely. It seems like Heinrix is coming to corruption to me. I agree. And hopefully that's exactly what we're getting. We shall see. But I agree. Oh, snap. I don't remember him summoning anybody. That's unfortunate. Good Lord. All right. Oh man, we've got desperate measures, huh? That's interesting. All right, so he'll do this, and he will do this, and are you properly debugged? Nope, you do not have this. Put this on you. Oh, so even if we kill him, we still got to kill the rest of these guys? I don't remember that. I remember this fight being done for. That's interesting. And what's the started? Can use charge and the MP is reduced by 3. We'll deal with it. Gives an additional. If the attack hits an opening, it's additional. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this works. I'm just curious. Yeah, no, that didn't. Oh well. Oh well. Oh, plus my regular attack damn near does as much as that was gonna do. And whoa, this is not cool. This is not cool at all. What is that? And a Herald of Zen. Yeah, I don't remember this fight being nearly this hard before. Oh, but you know what? Maybe it's because I had him go all the way. I had him juice up the machine. I bet you that's what it is. I had them juice up the machine, so they're like, all right, you get what you pay for. No problem. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work either. In fact, I'm almost of the mind I should be on the other side here. Yep, that kind of works. Excellent. Do that. That. Do that. Do that. Are you kidding me? That is unfortunate. The one person who I have been jazzing up this whole time is, of course, the person who goes down. Want this, That's what I thought. Whoa! And it does it to the rest of them too. You should have thought about that. Oh well. Every burning, and now I can't use my inflame because half my party members are burning up. This fight not going well. Let's see. Sure. Oh man. Not good, not good, not good. They're about to kill Cassia. Oh no, it ain't worse. Oh no. He's just bombing the crap out of us in general. Alright. First, Abelard. Give yourself some help. There we go. Now. Looks like Are you serious? That didn't hit. I hate when it does that. I'm clearly trying to click on this guy. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. All right. Cassia is finally back in the mix. She cannot see the other creature over there. Let's change that. Wow. You know, pull him off. Pull him off. There we go. And if we do that, we move over here. And then, can we just freeze you? I'm just going to stun you for now while I try to deal with the rest of them. She's going to need some dodge, probably. And then, actually, we can do this. Trigger some attack. Oh, no, they both moved just a little bit, so I didn't trigger attacks of opportunity. It is what it is. All right. Idira, move up. Demons are none to play with. Oh no, the fight is the same. Got clapped by all the demons spotted before me. My fault for not bringing Cassia. Interesting. I do not remember the fight being this tough before at all. But this is brutal. Absolutely brutal. All right. Idira. And then, yeah, let's see. He's stunned, so we don't need to worry about him. We'll worry about you then. So in that case, we'll do this. Oh, no, she doesn't have bandwidth for that, so we'll just leave it there. All right. And that doesn't do anything to Heinrix at all, right? Yep. Oh, come on. Are you serious? All right. And he's moving hell fast. And I don't have a way to help him. Oh, crap. Are you serious? That's ridiculous. And I still can't use Inflame because it's going to do a crap ton of damage to Abelard. Ah. Unfortunate. All targets within, yeah. Are you already, yeah, you already got that. Oh, I really want to do this, but nope, let it go. Oh, seriously, now he's got all that XP and nothing to do with it, huh? Oh, you know what? He does have a way to heal himself. I forgot. It's a small bit, but it's there. Hey, look at that. All right. Idira, I already did this for Idira. Let's see. We're gonna come out and about. Screw it. First, we're gonna get you out the way. And then what's your deal, homie? Let's do that. That. And then that's 10% of Atlas. Yeah. What just happened? Oh, oh my God. A blood letter? I don't know if I've even ever seen this creature before. Bloodthirsty roar. Gains armor equals willpower, immune to toxic damage. The creature is immune to burning and flame damage. Oh. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. All right. That. Bruh. And yeah, let's get myself some more willpower. And what's this do again? Let's do some of that. And I guess I'll try to help you out a little bit, Heinrix, but you're probably done for regardless. Woo! Idira is unstoppable. That's crazy that she dealt with him in one turn. That's actually insane. And got my heroism way up in the process. She is a boss bitch for real. Because that looked ugly. Uh-huh. Go ahead and attack me. Go ahead and attack me. Man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Alright, I did this fight with 3 psych as well. Got absolutely destroyed by the warp. First drive went awful. Second. I don't know if I've gotten a Staff of Midnight before. It was once a little blood. Okay, a lot of blood. Alright, you can't do anything with that anyway. Here, let's pull this over here. So you take more damage. And then absolutely let's give this to her. And yeah, I can get 2 rounds of this, so we'll put this on you. Get a little more damage out of there. And ooh, she is wrecking. Oh! Because one of the little ones was still alive, right? So maybe I just needed to kill the big one to end the fight? Idira is wrecking shop. I am. Okay. Woo. Heinrix goes back to the broken down cogitator, spends a while examining the instrument panel, and then disconnects a component resembling a data crypt, which he quickly stows in his cartridge belt. That's what this machine was put into operation for. Countless symbols and numbers containing knowledge of things to come. I hope my specialist will find a way to decipher the corrupted code. I saw something happen to you, Heinrix. What happened when you touched the machine? Heinrix jerks his head and waves away the question, his movement sharp and unnatural. We'll talk about it later, but right now, Heinrix's eyes settle on you. I must thank you, Commander High Slanderer. Without your help and cooperation, I doubt I would have reached the depths of Kiavagama and learned the truth behind my agent's dispatches and reports. I would never have ended up here. I would never have succeeded in hampering the cult's activities. Dare I hope, esteemed interrogator, that your keen interest in this Von Valancia's world has been satisfied? Oh? Apart from the fact that the world is still seized by the archenemy's corruption, its populace is infected with heresy, and the once sacred machines of its manufactorum have been turned into weapons against humanity? Quite satisfied, yes. My business on Kiavagama is concluded. It is time to return to the mission that brought you to the industrial world. The only thing I'll ask of you is an audience when we return to the ship. Heinrix bows his head to signal that the conversation is over. Whew! All right. It's done. And I have an injury. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. You know what? I keep using Abelard as my medic, but I wonder if Jay actually has a higher Medicae score. She's got 90. He's got 89. So not crazy high. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And bam. All right, that is over. Brutal, brutal, brutal. All right, we're done. I didn't even get a level up out of all that. Okay, now that that is finished, we need to continue searching the lower levels here before we move to the hard fights on the upper levels. Move this. You know what, actually I take that back. Some of the fights on the lower level aren't slouches either. This is just kind of a rough...
biology is different from human biology. I wish I had the opportunity to study firsthand what causes the greatest pain to enemies of humanity.
It's weird for him to say out of nowhere. It's almost as if they think Jay is in the party with me. A desecrated altar to the Omnissiah, the purity seals have been torn off, the data slates with sacred code shattered, and some of the teeth on the gear adornments broken off. An eerie-looking makeshift structure adorned with revolting totems and symbols. The dim lighting makes it look like the ornate symbols are moving. Is she? Oh yeah, she failed that test. I think I'm going to need to take a couple of ranks in Lower Warp for Idira. I feel like she's missed several of these checks recently. The crucified body had all of its augmentics removed. Judging by the abundance of blood, they were ripped out when the tech priest was still alive. Rough. Dements. You know, I've never done this section without Pasqal, now that I think about it. I wonder if it gives you different dialogue. The tech priest tears himself away from reading his data slate and looks up at you. His respiratory augmentic is missing. Instead, the lower half of his face is covered in deathly pale artificial flesh. You take note of the multitude of flesh augmentics attached to his head. They seem to have been inserted haphazardly, and pus is seeping from the untreated wounds. I heard your footsteps in the void. You are Von Valancius, are you not? Smile ominously. You are a heretic, are you not? Merely a seeker of knowledge. However, the experiments I have conducted extend far beyond the allowed limits of an ordinary transmechanic. tasked with maintaining a planetary box array. But ever since I received that strange signal, my ears have been open to what I previously considered to be forbidden knowledge. Every night since then, I have been tuning my Vox station to that very frequency and listening to the voices. Am I a heretic? The fabricator censor didn't think so. He conducted inspections, but he did not prohibit my research. Later, when a mysterious visitor revealed the truth to his optics, he came to me once more. I nurtured the scrap code for him in the depths of my mind. It lives there still, eating through my synapses and building my connections that are open to the new knowledge of change. Is freedom heresy? If so, then I am a heretic. Identify yourself. His white and lifeless lips stretch into a smile. My name is Demence Hanuman. I believe it is familiar to you. I am acquainted with Magos Hanuman, and something tells me that you two are not related. We are not. The name Hanuman, it is spoken surprisingly often these days, wouldn't you say? The tech priest smiles enigmatically, but the smile feels as if it has been stapled to his white face. My Vox station picks up whispers repeating this name. Are you the one who stole Magos Tarsus' personal code and made an attempt on his life? No. Why would I do that? It was the work of the maimed hunter. I am giving you a chance to explain why you are using the name of another. Another? I have the right to bear this name. It is my humble inheritance, which I received from Archmagos Armanaut. To renounce it is to betray his ideas. The blessed Armanaut taught us that the cycle must be discontinued, and it seems I have become his best student. Now I inspire to know all, comprehend all, as is the Omnissiah's will. I am deciphering a great mystery, and my name became the start of the key. I analyzed the archives and found it in places where it should not be. Hanuman, Hanuman, Hanuman. I kept seeing this marker upon the traces of a great plot of the deception created by Archmagos Armanaut. No sound mind is capable of such twisted cunning, but my mind was no longer sane, could no longer stay within the narrow confines of the norm. Each new discovery loosened the imperatives of obedience and granted even greater freedom. I avoided the traps of the maimed hunter who seeks to hide the truth. But words mean little. Do you want me to show you the truth? His pale lips spread into a smile. Fine then, show me your truth. The tech priest turns his data slate around. Its vid screen is covered with green runes, performing an ungodly dance of computation. It's no easy task to keep up with the scrolling numbers, but you manage to pick out a few equations, schemes, theorems. They are all senseless, for the simple reason that each one is based on an absurd violation of the laws of calculation. I do not understand your calculations, but I would like to, very much so. Then become my servant. I will seize your weak brain and replace it with Ferrum Sectum, capable of receiving signals from the immaterial. Then you will understand everything. Ah, well, that's not all that desirable. This conversation is finished. The voices warned me that this moment would come. All right. I remember this fight being kind of tough if you let it get out of hand, but we won't do that. We'll do this fight the exact way we're supposed to. Let's put you over here, put you over here. Pew, 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 pew. And you know what? You already got a trauma anyway, so I might as well just stick you over here. And then I'll stick you over here. And then she can be all the way in the back right there with you. And boom! And she can give you... The short distance of our officer powers is so annoying. Here we go. You, now. What makes the most sense for you? Oh, yeah, that makes the most sense. Excellent. And we gave her some more to work with, so she'll take that. And we'll do that. Along. Ooh, I think can servitors take mental damage? I can't remember. Guess I'm about to find out. I seem to remember there might have been an issue where they do not. All right, and here we go, back up here. And there we go. Now, can we? No, there's no way. All right, then. Well, we'll just Try to put them on the same spot. Let's see. There we go. Some on the same spot. There we go. All three of you. And two. And there we go. Excellent. And let's see. Oh, all three of them stunned. Ooh, and we triggered this. So, yep, let's do that. Boop, 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 boop. And I don't think we can get a prey on any of them, right? Yep. So we'll just keep it moving. Well, we could. There we go. We can get here. Hold on. And then there we go. And you know what? We can give ourselves some dodge. Did I dog it? I accidentally chose the wrong one. Oh well. It doesn't matter because Jay can fix the issue, so that's fine. So you can do that, and then she will supercharge this. And then front line, we'll do that all the way up there. And just be absolutely sure. And we'll also give Idira voice of command. And then we'll give Idira an extra turn. And see how she does with this. Ooh. Obliteration. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, she's doing... Ooh, that's it. That's all she wrote. I like that. I like that. We'll do that and then increase our fire damage a little bit. There we go. And let that go. Now, can you reach him from here? You can. And obliterate him in the process. Excellent. And put some more stank on it soon. There we go. He's here. Do that. Do that. I think Heinrix should be able to end this. Let's find out. Boom. And I think we got through that relatively painlessly. Excellent. Come on. A mishmash of steel, wire, and augmentation shaped by some madman into an unknown and frightening monstrosity.
Lord.
What is this? Cortical augment. It's torn out. Plus 10 to logic and a plasma gun. We'll take it all. Oh, you know what? I think you might need the augment for Pasqal's quest. That's why I gave it to us. The curved parts appear foreign compared to the orderly geometry of the manufactorum. The many holes and fasteners indicate that each component serves as but a single part of some wicked design. It's here. Melee attacks made against enemies under the effect of exposed weakness decrease enemy strength and agility. I rarely use exposed weakness, so this serves no purpose. In this run, I rarely use exposed weakness. In other runs, it's very, very useful.
My pleasure.
The car is filled with refuse, broken pieces of spare parts, chopped up lumps of flesh, bits of wire, and other rubbish. Ooh. Plus 3 deflection and 15% armor at the beginning of every combat. 10% armor if wearer's intellect is more than 55. Ooh. Seems like Pasqal will probably benefit from all that. Remove this debris.
Lesson learned.
It's so weird to me the way they do that. Like, depending on the angle in which you click it, it might cause an injury to him instead of them just automatically having them out of the way. It's so weird because you don't actually see the cart roll over him, right? It just fades to black, and then when he comes back, he has an injury. Odd. So now if we do it from this side, I think it's okay. Is that the way it works?
Compared to naval service, that was
There.
barely a challenge.
And it's also... Release the car. Just an odd little puzzle to set up. It's not even a puzzle, just an odd little like sequence of events. Nah, it's him succeeding the check. Also, he failed the check, and that's why that happened? Is that it? Because he always has a high percentage to succeed, so I was just automatically assuming that he more than likely succeeded, but you might be right. That maybe him failing the check is what's actually happening. You might be correct. Doom, 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 doom. In which case, the injury makes sense. The cogitator looks dead. Only a single lit lumen shows that there's life within the machine. Bring your electrode to the scanner. Several lumens light up on the panel. You hear distinct clicks, and the cogitator goes quiet, clearly having fulfilled its purpose. Which is... Ooh. Revealing something?
Guides my gaze.
Punch kicks a wall. And then... There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Store's pneumatic actuators have obviously failed. It can only be opened manually by finding a suitable valve. Done.
My warp sight reveals something.
This ocular implement was a worthwhile investment.
Alright, first do that. And that didn't work. And that didn't work either. Why did it have him run over it? Your guess is as good as mine. The thick layer of dust is a telltale sign that this place has had very few visitors. Despite that, you can see faint footprints that were left by whoever came here last. These old research cogitators are unpowered. The device, which bears an odd resemblance to both a cogitator and a furnace, reacts to your presence with a faint blink of its lights and an inscrutable Ben Heinrix signal. Damn, good thing you did a random series of events that ended up giving you a valve. Exactly. That whole sequence is so weird to me. The towering furnace wreathed in scarlet lights fills you with awe. As you approach, the heavy thrum of ancient servo motors erupts from the machine's depths, along with crackling Ben Heinrix undertones. The dust-covered keys are illuminated by a faint, pale glow. Input the code to disable the gas supply. A long Ben Heinrix trill from the guts of the furnace triggers a wave of quiet clicks coming from every direction. Input the code to disable the traps. The furnace responds with a short Ben Heinrix signal that evokes the mechanical rustling of unseen switches. Request Theodora's data. Rumbling builds up in the bowels of the furnace, growing stronger apace with the sound of ancient motors. The rumble is echoed by the screeching of metal gears and the clanging of unknown mechanisms. Slowly, almost hesitantly, the creation of Adeptus Mechanicus disgorges a data bank engraved with the coat of arms of House von Valancius. Excellent. All right, here we go. I think there's 2 rough fights left on this world.
I'm still new to the art of exploring.
Thought we just disabled all of these damn things. Your redemption will be awash with the blood. The Chaos Space Marine towers over the tech priest's bowed heads like a dark cliff. He is reciting a sermon, slowly, almost chanting. From the mere sound of his deep, low voice, you break into a cold sweat and your gorge rises. Listen, for my words reveal to you a path from the darkness unto the primordial truth, which has thrown open its gates for wayward souls, seeking deliverance from the shroud of lies and torments of enslavement. Your minds have shed the bonds of the dogma that has guided you into the abyss. Accept now the hope granted to you by the greatest of the word bearers. Heinrix hisses through gritted teeth. I knew our meeting on Rycat Minors wouldn't be the last, but to run into this anathema here, Kiavagama didn't merely succumb to heresy, Commander Icelanderer. Your world is in the clutches of the greatest evil known to the Imperium. Voice. That voice. Have I heard it before? Or no? It's like it drowns out all other voices. Let's leave. Quickly, please. Listen to the sermon. The Chaos Space Marine does not seem to notice you. His gaze is focused on his flock, who are hanging on his every word. Those living a lie will not see the truth until they have renounced the false gods. Only through your faith does the reign of those corpses worms hold. Worms that devour your very body, reeking weak souls, gnawing at your eyes and ears, so you do not turn them toward the true masters. Your world, a foundry in the worm of corpses, was given the honor of serving as the crucible of the oncoming victory, and we, the word bearers, shall be at the tip of it, as well as those of you who can overcome the slander of the false idols. The incinerating fires of Kiavagama will birth weapons whose advance heralds the coming of a new age, an age wreathed by the glory and resplendence of chaos undivided. It feels as if, with each of the Chaos Space Marines' words, the light around you dims. Something tickles your face. A thin rivulet of blood is streaming down from your nose, dripping onto your lips and chin. Requires heretical follower. Memorize the words of the sermon. Heed the liberating truth that is word made blessed flesh, which marks every true servant of the gods. Heed the wisdom of Lord Lorgar, the word-bearer, most beloved son of chaos. The longer you listen, the more the words of the sermon blur together into incoherent humming, the itch in your ears turned into drilling pain that crushes your temples and squeezes your neck, and spreads downward to your very heart, which it pierces with an icy needle. Through the haze of pain and the film of tears over your eyes, you sense the scorching gaze of the Chaos Space Marine, who has turned his head in your direction. The time for words is at an end, children of chaos. Praise the gods with a bloody offering. Boop, boop. Word bearers, yep. You want this army back? Woohoo! Word bearers are no joke. All right, you're here. Abelard, you're here. Nope, I want to get a space back. Thank you. And Jay, you can go here, I guess. Oh no, they won't let you go there. Yep. This is what I have to do, and all right.
I heard terms of military tactics.
Ooh. You're a level 3? Well, don't mind if I do. Another level 3. No. All these guys have over 100 health, huh? Rough. All right, now. No, that doesn't do anything. All right, well, I guess I'll do that. Or, cause doing this won't kill it, yo. Yeah, it's not gonna kill it, so. Oh wait, can I? Huh. You know what? I like that a little bit more. Let's do that. There we go. Excellent. Okay, now. Actually here. Excellent. Now she can get all of you in one go. Exactly what we want. Alright, all of you didn't respond, but that's okay. There we go. And then put all of you in a nice little pile. And then let's do that. Yep. Ah, it's just so beautiful. And oops, you know what? She should mark her own prey. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. All right, now. And sure, we'll do that. 2 of these guys down. Shadows are reversed and all that. And now she gets a turn. Can she obliterate this guy? No, I won't obliterate him. I could obliterate him, but he's already going to be stunned. So I'm not really worried about him that much. 103. Yeah, we'll go with you first. And then, oh, she could do another attack just because, huh? Well, I guess she'll go this way. Come on now, seriously? That didn't do it? I don't appreciate that. I think the best thing she could do is pump up a deer some more. Alright, she can.
I can do that with the right incentive.
We're gonna bring Idira all the way out. Because we're gonna take a gamble and say she will be able to stun her foe. Pump it up some. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. And then do that. And make sure that he takes the full brunt of this. And let's see what happens. She's gonna take another crack at it. Try to get this guy stunned. And he's still not stunned, but we still have another turn. So this is one, right? So I'm gonna set you on fire. And then we're gonna do it. And then this should destroy you. That destroys you. Yes, it does. And I'm able to do another attack. So you know what? Let's get some more people on fire. Why aren't you burning? You're missing out on this party? You don't want to miss out on this party. Ooh, she 91%. Let's go ahead and just do that. And he's out of there. Never even got a chance to move, just the way we like it. And is this the last one? It is the last one. Oh my God, did she just kill herself? So, both of my psychers have traumas on them. That's definitely comforting. It's real comforting. All right, moving right along. What's this cloak do? All bonuses from the wearer's combat tactics areas are increased by 5% for 1 round. The wearer uses stratagem different from the one used before. Interesting. That might be useful for Jay. I'll have to check it out later. I think this is the big area, so we'll circle back because I don't think we quite got everything yet. Can't believe right at the end, she had done such a great job too. Really obliterated the competition. Just needed her to last a wee bit longer. Dag nabbit. Nope. Or maybe it will. How am I supposed to get down there? I'm confused now.
You love to take charge, don't you?
Is this it? That's it. That's how. That's done. This large device is a cargo lift used for transporting parts. This cyber guard is asking for access codes you don't have. Oh, you know what? You might have to, maybe I would have to have Pasqal in order to use that. Damn. I remember there being a sweet hall behind that door too. Unfortunate. By the way, isn't this supposed to be multi? How come no one ever joins? People join sometimes. There's like a rotation of about 3 or 4 people who hop in every so often. Hulk, what's going on, man? How are you? But I don't not do it just because nobody is available to play, you know, because I don't want to do this damn playthrough forever. I'm really trying to ensure that we finish this up before February. So you might notice that's why we're doing like these back-to-back sessions and whatnot, because I'm definitely ready to move on to some other games that have been on my list. And here we are. Woof. Upon noticing you, Cubus Delphum straightens you. Upon noticing you, Cubus Delphum straightens. You hear the clanging and groaning of metal, as if the pistons and bearings in the fabricator Senshin's augmented body have fused together. Repellent scrapes and screeches punctuate his screech. You, the probability of navigating your way, of reaching the inner nine, was negligible. The primordial truth guards me on my work. Then why is it that this variable is yet to be eliminated? It appears that your masters have turned their backs on you, and now you are on your own. Actually, no. I shall venture a guess. It is because I am the illustrious rogue trader Von Valancius, conqueror of the Corollas Expanse, and you are a talking piece of refuse. How dare you insult me? Your insolence is an unexpected factor. No matter, the error will soon be rectified. Soon! Is it open to anyone? For the time, I'm not...
Is opening for the time I'm not dying from a fever. Yeah. Anybody can jump in. Anybody can jump in. In the description, you'll see the code to add me as a friend on Steam. I saw the strange constructs on the lines of the manufacturer. What mad machines are you creating here? Steel creations destined to serve the designs of truth. Did you see the elegance of their form, their flawless ergonomics? And those are mere shells. True perfection fills them when they are instilled with the spark of life and granted purpose to bring their wrath upon the heads of apostates. Once this army is assembled, but why waste words? You will see for yourself a modicum of the splendor that is in store for the Coronis expanse. Hey, Commander Highlander, you sick of listening to the rambles of this rusty cog yet? It's like he's stalling for... The fabricator sensor straightens his back and shoulders. You hear a mounting hum as if some powerful turbines, followed by heavy footsteps and the grinding of metal against metal. Lordy. He's gonna walk all the way up, huh? Nobody's gonna stop him? What? What is that thing? The fabricator sensor lets out a Ben-Haric trill. Witness the weapon designed to carry the glory of the true gods into the darkness of the Coronis expanse. My shepherd has sent me one of his iron angels so that its very presence may instill faith and awe in the hearts of his flock. Accept the greatness of the primordial truth united with the might of the new Kiavagama and perish. Requires heretical follower. Dominate the metallic beast. Spirit of the warp, bow to my will and defend me. The words never escape your lips. The moment they touch your tongue, they scald the inside of your mouth and cause you to choke and cough. Nonetheless, the warp spirits heed your intention, and the air around you begins to pulsate with crimson flares. All the sounds in the manufactorum are momentarily silenced as the steel fiend skewers you with an intense and baleful gaze, which then shifts to the fabricator sensor. Crazy! I like that. I'm a fan of that. Okay. Okay. Put her here. No. Abelard, he can roam around here, I guess. Who's this? Forge Fiend. Why does that thing say... Why is it, have it blinked out? Oh, he's stunned for 1 round? That's interesting. Why is he stunned, though? Huh. Alright. Actually, Abelard can come here because this guy is going to go before Abelard. So he'll be able to wipe out a lot of that stuff. Heinrix. Same deal. You don't need to be over in that area. Jay, you can come over here. And then, that's a deer, right? Commander Highlander. Yeah, I guess you can come all the way over here. Separate from the pack. And we're good. Okay. First up, Idira. Darling, do what you do. Do what you do, baby. Yep, this about does it. Oh, that's right here. Hold on. What are these guys? Heretic. Here, we'll take you. And you, I guess, sure. And can she see you all the way in the back? Yeah, she can see you. And bam. And Cassia's good. Alright, now it's Cassia's turn. Cassia will do that. And yeah, we'll focus on this group.
All right, excellent. That takes out all of them. Oh, and then she gets an extra turn. Nice, very, very nice, very, very nice. And she'll do almost no damage, but oh, I wonder, is he specifically warp burn? Yeah, he's got warp burn on him, but reject the flesh. Shock damage is increased. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, yeah, I know that he doesn't like, yeah, he doesn't care about melee attacks, but all right, maybe the next round of fire damage will do more to him. We'll let this go for now. Not sure why the fire damage I already did. It didn't have a greater effect, but we're not gonna worry about it too much. All right, now we're back. You got the eye on you? Oh no, we haven't put the eye on yet, so we'll put the eye on now. And let's see, we're gonna debuff you further. And then let's see if, can we? Okay, yeah, we'll attempt to stun both of you. Don't know if that's possible, but we can give it a whirl. And then she can do this. And then she might as well just go ahead and do this. And next up, now it's Jay. Jay will do this. She will superpower this. She will place this back where it belongs. She will make it easier to kill you while you're standing there. And then she'll give Idira another turn. This, of course, won't kill you, but it'll still do some more good damage. There you go. More good damage. And we'll also put back her dodge option. And then, now what are you going to do? Ooh, she'll dodge it. Excellent. And now my friend gets to go. Oh, but my friend didn't move at all, so my melee character is blocked off. Didn't think that would happen, but it's okay. All right, now. She will... No, actually. That's still 0-1. So, how do I want to do this? You know what? Here. Can I reach all the way back there? I can. So we'll do that. And then I'll increase my burning damage and do some additional damage to both of you. I don't know why it jolted back to her like that when I did that, but okay. We'll do this, and then this is 0 AP, right? So I forgot we should put this on you to make the attacks more impactful. And yeah, this is not doing a damn thing. All right, whatever. Could be worse. Ooh, the force fiend is up. All right. Now, she will give herself a willpower bonus. And she will put some extra exploits on you, so we get more damage. And then she might as well give Cassia more dodge and whatnot to make sure that nothing happens to her. And then we'll go ahead and obliterate you. You're out of here, sir. And we have leveled up. Just good stuff all the way around. And now it's time to really hurt you. To really hurt you. Because you're annoying us. It's annoying us that you're still alive, to be frank. This is kind of a waste of this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's not like I need a lot of heroic guys. We're almost at the end. And now Idira has another go round. So can she reach? She can. And it's a wrap. Look at that. Oh, and he's still alive. The steel behemoth standing before you twitches every so often. Its frame emanates tainted miasmas, as if its metal plates can barely hold the endless anathema contained within this fabricated cage.
Heinrix raises a hand, and the temperature around him begins to plummet. Idira shakes her head, tilts it to one side as if listening to something, then shoots you a wary glance. As she meets your gaze, her expression hardens, and she gives you a slight nod. Heretical. I am taking it to my ship. I will make it serve me. What? The interrogator stares at you in fury. What lunacy has gotten into your head? Heinrix, you were just investigating a corrupted cogitator, and now you would fault me? Even rogue traitors should not dabble in what we are dealing with now. His voice turns into a growl. You are putting every soul aboard your ship in grave peril. Lie. Just look at this thing. It must be defective if it fights its own. The interrogator looks at the Daemon engine for a few moments. You have stepped dangerously close to the line that separates radical thinking from indisputable heresy. Be more prudent in your experiments, Commander High Slanderer. Idira bites her lips to conceal a smile. She casts a mocking glance at the unsuspecting interrogator. The abomination, seething with heat and malice, digs at the metal floor with its foot and lets out a stifled howl, as if in anticipation of new massacres and victims to come. I wonder what effect that will have. Ooh. That went well. I didn't think it would go well. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure. But that went quite well. And I will take this just in case. And this looks like a better one, so you have to take that as well. Boom, 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 boom. Take all those.
Powers unseen uncover my
And return to the void chip. Uh-oh. So, how does this conversation go if you're a heretic? Sharp pain pierces your head, and the light dims in your eyes. You smell smoke and burning. You feel a wave of nausea. Your legs buckle, and your knees hit the metal floor. In that same moment, the manufactorum surrounding you disappears in a whirlwind of mist, ash, and gray shadows. Struggling against the elements, you can barely raise your head to look. Your eyes sting and burn, but through the tears, you see it. A colossal silhouette rising above you. The roaring tempest is unable to shake the mighty figure. Who or what are you? The warrior's inhuman eyes bore into you. I am the master of those who have been felled by your hand in the halls of the primordial truth. I am Yrilet the Cruel. The souls of my followers return to the fount of power they served, crying out for me to cast my gaze toward this sacrilege. And what do I see? Yet another lackey of the Corpse Emperor. They call you a hero, an empty word, a worthless pedestal among hundreds like it, all built by the lackeys of the false god in their hubris and ignorance. This pedestal will soon become a sacrificial altar, and you will become yet another reminder to the expanse that no hero can save it from the truth. The giant's voice causes the storm raging around you to die down somewhat, as if the very sound of his voice is enough to make the whirlwind subside. You glance at the huge warrior and notice on his chest a winding azure symbol. The shades of blue seem to glimmer and mingle together. Where are we? Where have you taken me? This is the bridge that connects our minds, created by the will of my slave, whose fate you should be envying. The Psyker is useful enough to me to be left alive. You, less so. What do you want with me? I want to look upon the one who has disrupted my flock's duties and my master's plans. That warrior from my legion, the Fabricator Censor. You think of their deaths as a triumph. However, it is but a minor hindrance on our path. There are other worlds that serve our goals. There are other sources of plasteel and adamantine. Revel in your victory. It will change nothing. Nevertheless, the blood in your veins whispers to the spirits that you warrant a closer look. Yes, you are a descendant of the rogue trader whose warrant Conrad Vokvir sought to obtain. By defiling the relic and binding it to himself with the tethers of the Empyrean, he was meant to become my servant, a rogue trader who would do the work of the truth. But then you interfered. Could it be that you wish to gain that true God's favor instead? Do you wish to present the corpse relic to me and serve the truth? Hear your very blood calling, begging you to submit to me? What would be the point of futile defiance? Heretical. I am willing to give the warrant to you in exchange for the blessing of your masters. He chuckles and inclines his head. When the time comes, I will remind you of this promise. The sinews of fate have yet to be bound. I will not stop my servants from hunting for that which I require. If you survive, you will have earned the right to serve the truth. This isn't your first time meddling in the deeds of the word bearers. You were there on Rykab Benors, and so I want to know if you hold in your hands that which is not yours to hold, and you will tell me yourself. He utters a few words in an unknown tongue over his shoulder, and you feel your head being clamped by an unseen vice. You feel your blood start pumping alarmingly in your temples at an increasing pace as the wind is knocked out of you. But then the drumming in your ears quiets, and your heart, which is about to leap out of your chest, slows its rhythm. Yrilet chuckles. It appears I am not the only one who appreciates the value of a pet psyker. I will make good use of your watchdog when my servants get to you. Especially since, he bares his teeth and chuckles, especially since the soul of your leashed sorcerer has already been marked by my lord. A gust of wind sweeps Yrilet's figure away without a trace. The mist around you begins to dissipate, revealing the dark halls of the Manufactorum and leaving behind an oppressive sense of powerlessness. Heinrix is standing beside you, white as a sheet, eyes wide, grimacing. The air around him seems to roil. Through all the phenomenon passes almost immediately. As he begins to speak, his voice sounds hoarse and cracked. That was not easy. Quit dawdling, Heinrix. Abelard peers over Heinrix's shoulder, looking agitated. I can't lose a second road trader in such a ridiculous span of time. Oh, your ladyship, you've come too. Thank the throne. I sense the presence of another psyker. Someone made contact with you mentally, then tried to harm you with sorcery. I did what I could. You at least appear unharmed. Can you remember what you saw? Hold on. The servant of chaos claimed that the soul of the psyker who was protecting me had already been marked by his lord. A shadow passes over Heinrix's face. Astonishment, anger, and finally, alarm. Most likely, our enemy wanted to sow doubt among your allies. If I were a follower of the arch enemy, would I have fought for your soul? Don't trust a word the enemies of the Imperium say, Commander Highslanderer, lest you put your own soul at risk. Heinrix not flipping out right now is a bit weird. He's trying to hold this shit together. It was a Chaos Space Marine. One of the traitors of the Imperium. I don't think it was he who touched your mind. I wouldn't have had the strength to go up against a psyker from the ranks of those monsters. He might have forced some mortal to do his bidding. And remember, I don't think he can see the Chaos Space Marine. Only you could see him. He just could tell that something was wrong with me. So that's probably also part of the reason he's not flipping out as hard. Perhaps it was through the same hapless medium that he sensed the depths of his henchmen. Heinrix looks away and frowns. Such indescribable power to have reached out to your mind at such a distance. He said something about Theodora. about how the blood in my veins will lead me to serve chaos. Heinrix stares at you, whether in surprise or anger, you do not know. Then he gives a curt nod. I see. We can theorize later, although I will say, Commander High Slanderer, that his words do not leave much room for interpretation. The manufactorum around you looks the same as before the vision. Maybe the shadows have grown a little deeper and darker. You dust yourself off and continue on your journey through the darkness. Whoo! Intense! Sorry, 1 second, my mouth was dry. The world's industrial heart has fallen to corruption, but numerous faint box signals from the periphery indicate that the planet's small manufacturing clusters survive without succumbing to the heretics. The sacred machines and hollow lathes from the abodes have been reverently transported to the safety of the ship's holds. The fate of Kiavagama hangs in the balance. Ooh. Alongside broad cannons and extractium. Requires heretical follower. Restore the manufactorum using the heretics' engineering plans. The blast furnaces are lit again. Machines once more fill the air with screeches and squeals, and mag trains of wagons stretch in lines from one workshop to the next. But no one except the chosen are allowed into the deeper chambers of the manufactorum. This is where heretical daemon engines are now being forged in blood, darkness, and secrecy. Sick! Ooh. Have been damaged and tainted by the procedures of the heretic. A renowned tech architect, the fugitive, that restore the world to its former production capabilities. Okay. Whenever the wearers are turned, they deal 1 warp damage to each adjacent creature and to the wearer themselves. The wearer also deals an additional conviction, heretical rank, warp damage to enemies. The Dark Makessa. This would be nice if I was using Pasqal on a regular basis. The Hand Xenosign. Alright, so the actual weapon rewards, not all that much. I don't care about that. But looks like this one is probably interesting. I think yeah, this one. Oh, but this will reduce my profit factor by 1, but I'm not worried about that. So we'll take that. And let's check on the other. Ooh, okay. Some people need assistance. So what Heinrix said was accurate. What do you mean? What part? Boss page? We still don't have that Casbalika right yet, so we're waiting on that. Oh, you're completely maxed out? Okay, fine. How are you doing? You're maxed out also, and we just started Kiavagama. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's head back to the bridge real quick. I wonder if we have enough to increase our rep with the Casbalika. That would be nice. All right, so we'll check Casbalika, check the data pad we just got, and then we'll bounce around to the 2 colonies that need a check-in. And then we'll go up to the last planet that, the last planet area that we haven't cleaned up, and then we'll do the ceremony to end Act 2. Or I might just travel to the world and end it there. We'll see. We'll see how I feel once we get there.
The presence of a weapon of chaos on the bridge of a void ship is heresy. And you try to justify it by claiming that your interest is purely pragmatic. It is precisely because of pragmatic interest that people who were once loyal servants of the throne become criminals. Your privileges are but a thin veil drawn over the sacrilege you have committed.
Wow. That is the harshest he's responded. Okay, it seems like maybe this is like a final straw for him, and he really feels like, now I'm heretic. Interesting. A Psyker Space Marine would flick him out of existence like a bug. He knows his limits. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. That's interesting. Any decent Psyker could do so. So yeah, Chaos Space Marine would be a bit more than a threat. Awesome. So yeah, by the end of the game, you realize who the Psyker you were going up against actually was. Are you satisfied with the results of your mission on Kiavagama?
More than. The data we retrieved is already in the hands of the Inquisition, in the custody of those who can extract the secrets of the future from the claws of chaos. The sacrifices made to the Cogitator will not have been for nothing.
Yeah, Khonshu, definitely some reactivity. That was good. That was good stuff. I feel like, frankly, there should have been more of it, but better late than never.
We dealt a blow not only to the cultists, but to the archenemy itself. I cannot help but be pleased. However, there is something I must tell you. Back there at the Cogitator, my decision to let it complete its operation allowed me to... I can't even find words to perceive something of what is to come. You deserve to know this. The cult is threatening the worlds within your protectorate, after all. I could choose to think of it as an echo of the past, or a specter of the future. But that's not it. Warp sorcery joins stretches of time together, violating the accepted sequence and flow of events. I heard a resonance of the person behind the cult. I faced demons more than once before, but this? I couldn't have imagined such a concentration of evil and corruption. I am convinced that one of the greater demons is behind the cult of the Final Dawn. Beware the day when that demon finds a way to appear in this world.
Are demons considered to be like one step below the Chaos Gods? Where are they in the hierarchy? Persuasion. Touching the Cogitator did something to you. I want to know what.
No servant of the God Emperor has closer dealings with corruption than the agents of the Golden Throne. In its quest to guard the Imperium against its foes' most devious and secret schemes, the Inquisition seeks to understand the essence of evil. It is not enough for us to burn or cut down a rotten seedling. We must study it, understand it, touch it. Every time any of us do our duty, we are risking our very souls. But when it comes to Psykers, the soul of a Psyker is especially enticing to the archenemy.
Yes, okay, so they are. Interesting. So you could wish you could corrupt Argenta and him. My understanding is that you can corrupt Heinrix. Hopefully I'm on the correct path to do that. We'll see. Like Argenta's already having core and stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed you can't corrupt Argenta, but I get it.
I was operating the machine created by the servants of the archenemy, and in doing so, I attracted the attention of the cult's master. Thank the throne that it was only a glancing touch. If it hadn't been, we would not be speaking here today. When I touched the cult's cogitator, I drew the thousand-eyed gaze of evil upon myself, as any agent does when they interfere in the schemes of those who serve the ruinous powers. And that evil undoubtedly left an invisible mark upon me, as it does on any acolyte who fights against the archenemy. And this will be the case every time I do my duty. I know a good deal about the fates of those who have served the throne before me. Enough to know that my path leads to one place, and one place only.
What are you going to do next?
My visit to Kiavagama did not produce answers to all my questions, but we did succeed in dealing a blow to the cult by destroying the Fabricator Sensor's machine. I have directed my spies to track the sect's surviving leaders. I am certain that they will have useful information for us soon. Though small, This is a victory for the Golden Throne, and I have you to thank for it.
Huh. So Chaos God, Chaos Primarch, Greater Daemon, and then Chaos Space Marine, everyone else. That's hierarchy of importance. Interesting. With Psykers in the middle of it. Okay, okay. Nice. Would a video game where you play someone who has the power equal to a Primarch work? I think that'll be all for now.
Now that my mission is concluded, I can devote my time to other things, such as that long-promised conversation with the Lord Captain.
It would be a pleasure. Why don't we go to my study?
After you, Lord Captain.
Ho ho! You spend a couple of hours in leisurely conversation with Heinrix Van Kalox. All the while, you cannot shake the feeling that the interrogator's questions are in pursuit of some goal other than simply sustaining the genteel chit-chat. When the general topics are at last exhausted, an awkward pause hangs in the air between you. The interrogator glances at the desk piled high with papers. I suppose the news of your inheritance of the sacred warrant came as a complete surprise to you. Abelard mentioned searching for heirs once, and how some of them felt about their lives changing forever. Not all of them fully understood the duty they were taking on. Van Kalox says this in a deadpan voice, and you cannot tell if this apparent indifference is real or feigned. You can relate, of course. Your life once changed beyond recognition as well. The interrogator is silent for a few moments. True, but that was a long time ago and I was still a child. Children quickly adapt to new circumstances and environments. I do not think a black ship is an acceptable environment for a child. Let's see. Or non-wordlessly. Which one? I don't think it's acceptable environment. It is an acceptable environment for a psyker who cannot control his powers. Heinrix looks around the study. I could judge a person based on their surroundings, but not here. They are as thick with the memory of Theodora, the decor, the trophies. There are only slight changes related to daily rituals. What you are saying is that this labored conversation was a pretext for study? All in good time. Heinrix says nothing for a moment. Then, speaking of surroundings, I would like to ask you about something that caught my attention. Oh. Are we going to play a game? The Silver Mark Flank opening. Why use it in the middle game? Lord Imperium succeeded. Are you talking about the Regicide board? The game on the board isn't mine. Ah, that's a shame. I noticed the combination as soon as we came in, and I've been eager to ask about the thinking behind White's strategy. Heinrix lapses into silence as he intently studies the pieces on the board. You see his jaw relax, and a spark of light rekindles in his eyes. Observe. Heinrix bites his nail in thought, his eyes not leaving the board. Then he reaches out and cautiously moves a piece. Then another two pieces, and another two. All of his attention is absorbed in rearranging the pieces on the board. I've got it. The Calixian prong with a diversionary sacrifice, drawing the opponent into Zugzwang. Elegant. Very elegant. Pleased to have unraveled the mystery, the smiling interrogator looks up at you and, upon seeing your expression, coughs and looks away. Apologies, I got carried away. Nah, though you can play an Ultramarine. What's the difference between a Primarch and an Ultramarine? Yes, but it would take a gargantuan effort. Like, think Wrath of the Righteous in size and crank to its maximum. It could happen, but most wouldn't attempt it, and GW wouldn't allow it. You would have 100% of mythic levels. What's more feasible is a regular Space Marine, or Primaris Marine. There are many characters that have power equal to a Chaos Primarch. This sequencing of events is weird. Heretic, oh, want to play a game. Yeah, there was all that reactivity, and now nothing. So it's possible to focus on one of them. Interesting. Okay. It'll be interesting to see where Outcat decides to go from here. Why are you apologizing? For the first time in this entire conversation, you did something you actually wanted to do. Heinrix shifts awkwardly. I did. Interesting observation. Heinrix runs a hand through his hair. You're right. I haven't been able to break out of my usual role, asking targeted questions and then just sitting back and listening. My work leaves no room for personal desires, and I rarely even ask myself what I want. This game, it distracted me from me. I'm enjoying just sitting with you. Your politeness conceals the truth, Commander Highlander, but thank you for trying to spare my... The Vox on your decks buzzes to life, and you both jump. Heinrix inclines his head. You are wanted, and I have taken up enough of your time. Running away, are you? No, just deferring to your duty, Lord Captain. That felt kind of weird. I'm not even sure if I properly advanced the romance from that conversation, but oh well, it's something. Ultramarine are regular Space Marines, but they are poster boys of the franchise. Marines are super evolved Space Marines. They're as close as you can get to a Primarch. Regular, but with a better training regimen and no special quirk. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, any special weapons? Do you like this? You do. How about this? Can be equipped. Oh, 2030, yeah, that's definitely better. So we'll add that to cargo, and we'll add that to cargo. And then this, how does Abelard feel about it? Improved version of the arc rifle. Add to cargo. What's this? Curious. If intelligent 10% armor, so he's got 45% armor, and now he's got 60% armor. Sure, why not? Alright, now this. 20 plus 20 to tech use. You're a resident tech use person, and hey, what do you know? He doesn't need that. What kind of cloak are you using? 10% dodge? You're rarely, if ever, getting hit. We'll put that on over here. What are you wearing? Yeah, no, here we go. What's this? The wears melee attacks made against enemies under... I don't use exposed weakness. This cogitator grants the owner a +10 bonus to logic. I guess he could technically... No, none of us make use of this. The wearer gains +10 ballistic skill and additional 25% crit damage. You could benefit from crit damage. Increase the damage from... I don't like the way these gloves say increase the damage from flame weapons, because it almost seems like when you get hit, you're taking more damage. But with arsonist bracers, I would assume what they're saying is you should be able to use flame weapons easier, right? So it's increasing the damage weighted by +3. Still, +3 or 25% more crit damage. +3 or 25% more crit damage. Offhand, I kind of want to go with the crit damage. So we're going to throw that on and see how it works out. I may end up switching it back. We'll see. All right. Now, Pasqal have anything new to say?
My apologies. 19% of my processing power is engaged in the analysis of my tech comrade's memory. My response time may be longer than usual.
I'm not sure if I'm critting on a regular basis yet, Khonshu. So that's something I'll check out next time I'm in a fight. Have you found anything out?
The data is scarce. His identification code is the same as mine, and his memory contains data confirming that the assassination did take place. Unfortunately, some of his memory was damaged by pulses broadcast by his battle harness. I can assert with some confidence that he was...
Oh crap, I guess we never talked with Pasqal after
earnestly and eagerly.
having the meeting with the Adeptus Mechanicus outside of Dargonis, where they said Pasqal was basically a fake. Alright, we're gonna skip through this. He was a madman. He was not cognitively dysfunctional. He just desired to destroy Pasqal, and he's not sure if he was wrong for that. What do you think was behind the assassination? We don't have any data available.
I am concerned about the fate of Archmagus Amanat.
We're concerned about Major You 102. Remember, there are people on Rycat Minoris, this crew. Are you surprised that Armanat's words had such an effect on Octagon 22? Octagon revealed that he also believed in Armanat's teachings, and that did catch Pasqal off guard. Armanat was a believer and he caused a schism. Pars was a believer and he turned into a zealot. Faith can be dangerous.
Of course, faith is dangerous. Faith
Yep,
is the
but faith can take many forms.
prohibitions established by unknown elders. The form of an audacious violation.
So Armanat's teachings caused a schism, and the question is whether or not he was right in order to bring up these questions. Did Armanat believe the elders who feared his teachings to be in error?
Amanat did not reject any one specific prohibition, but found their cumulative effect to be oppressive. The system of rigid limitations had confined seekers of knowledge to a circular track, spelling doom for the thinking mind. And that cycle of repetition had to be broken.
So,
That's why he was
question
dubbed
is, should the
the
dogma
Messiah
reign as it
of
is, or is change
discontinuing.
needed? We're heretics. We believe in change. I could go for faith is just shackles of obedience, but I don't think that's going to help to corrupt Pasqal. And I'm not sure if corrupting him is possible. I think he stays regardless, but I don't know if you can flat out corrupt him. So I'll choose the option that hopefully helps me corrupt him. My faith is more than a mere set of rules. It consists of ideals which sometimes come into conflict with dogma, and I have been given the gift of will to set the dogma straight.
The Omnissiah has bestowed upon us
Right,
the
this precludes the
supreme
existence of any.
mission.
All limitations need their exceptions, yet exceptions belie the infallibility of prohibition. So, it could be that he agrees with you. Pasqal's voice takes on a thoughtful tone, and its otherworldly might peters out. Yet, okay, doubt. I've put doubt in Pasqal's mind. Perhaps you will find out more.
I will continue my research into the Blessed
Oh.
Martyr's memory with all due reverence.
Okay, so I can give him Demence Neural Augmetic. This item belonged to another heretic. Pasqal's Mechanic carefully takes the augmetic. He quickly connects it, so he takes it. Have you found out anything?
The success has been partial.
You can corrupt. You should. Dark Mechanicus exists for a reason. That's what I figured. Guide him to knowledge and don't let him affirm himself as an individual.
Processes,
Okay.
which is what seems to have caught my study of the minds of the tech comrades. Abel,
An anomalous
Tarsus,
similarity.
and
So he
Demence
sees similarities
has
between
revealed
everyone who's calling themselves
similarity
Hanneman.
between the
What
patterns
corrupted
of depth
Demence?
An echo of the warp. Energies of the
Okay, so he is corrupted by the warp.
into real space and taken the shape of a Vox signal. I have
Any
found
information on
cases.
Armanat?
The data discovered
No,
is
no information.
unreadable. It is encrypted, albeit only partially, and I hypothesize that the heretic Demence was attempting to decrypt it.
Has
I
it
will
ever,
take every effort to extract a larger volume of data.
Has it ever occurred to you that this may be all part of Armanat's plan?
That is a valid hypothesis, but not a very likely one.
Not likely. Continue your research.
Response: affirmative.
That's what he'll do. Alright, must take him and leave. Cool. Alright, somehow I missed that, so glad we picked it back up.
And now let me also go over here. Fun fact, the Mechanicus was the easiest to corrupt by the Chaos Gods. They literally begged for tech and knowledge. The Chaos Gods gave it and got servants. They have been there ever since. Wow. Corrupted by your own desire just to learn. Access the data from Kiavagama. That's true. The great mechanism has transformed the secret data into a format that you can comprehend without the assistance of a servant of Omnissiah. The tech priest retrieves the data slate from the heart of the cogitator, holding it with both hands, and passes it to you. The data bank decryption procedure has been completed without complication. Tech priest stops short. The green lights of his visor, fixed on the cogitator's vid screens, flicker nervously. Strings of numerical code begin appearing with frightening speed. This time the numbers are interspersed with words you can understand, and those words form legible sentences. Epitaph begot the incident, that which destroyed and changed everything. The incident became the starting point. The incident breathed life and marked the beginning of all. It marked the beginning of Nomos. It created Nomos. The tech priest, now alarmed, is tapping the keys on the control panel. His bent-heart prayer gives way to distressed whispering. Unacceptable deviation, violation of the sacred protocols, possibility of tech heresy. Omnissiah, shield us from all heresy. A few moments later, the vid screens darken and flicker to life again. Input, prompt. What was that just now? The imperfections of Vox transmission make the tech priest's voice sound even more worried. A catastrophic mistake, a heinous violation of the purity of the hallowed code. This mechanism is touched by heresy. It is branded and tainted by it. Now the machine spirit produces code as before, and yet, Lord Captain, heed my plea. All operations on this machine must be halted until the Agency Prime has inspected it. I saw a word among the lines of code. Nomos. What does it mean? It's a mystery to me. If this mechanism truly is tainted, then could it be? The tech priest Mechanidrate jitters anxiously over the control panel. If heresy truly has taken hold of this machine spirit and scorned the Omnissiah's every tenet, then the spirit's madness could be such that it has chosen a name for itself. But that is nothing more than my hypothesis. Your incompetence is appalling. The rogue trader's cogitator is rebelling, and your so-called assistance is utterly worthless. The tech priest bows guiltily, and his mechanical voice becomes hollow and dejected. My knowledge is insufficient to cleanse the code of this mechanism. I will inform the esteemed Agency Prime of this disturbing development. Only he has the power to expel the heresy from this corrupted machine spirit. The plot thickens. Every instance of tech priest failing is exactly like that. The thirst to innovate and knowledge has destroyed them every time. Crazy. You think they'd create harsher rules about how their search for knowledge is supposed to proceed to try to prevent that. Okay, it seems like I don't have an actual quest or way to ask Pasqal to do this. Routine has proposed celebrate with her crew on footfall. Oh, okay. A social event in the company of coal traders could be proved to be an exciting diversion. All right, I didn't realize I had that. Say the Aldari. I know where the last Aldari ship is. No problem. Profit factor calls. Okay, cool, whatever. And we need more people to do that one, so we're good. And bam. Let's do it. Okay, now, oh, we were supposed to, forgot. Sorry, we were supposed to check the vendor, see if we can give him enough stuff, enough cargo that the Casbalika will finally do what they're supposed to do. Let's see. Let us see. Come on. You don't understand shit about technology. Casbalika. Oh, they're only at, I'm only at 25K with these people? Oh yeah, it's doubtful this is happening Wait, it was Casper. Yeah, it was Casper that commissioned them. Yeah, apparently this is not gonna happen until what, Act 4 or whatever, which is crazy. Which is cray. Alright, fine. That's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. Alright. War Trader recreates this very well when you interact with the onboard cogitator. Nice. The squad's are the most advanced human sub-race right now. Where's our tech lingual? They harness black holes and other insane tech wizardry. Oh wow, that's crazy. Nothing queers. You could You didn't know you could trade from the ship, Kunsu? Yeah, it's pretty indispensable, bro. You've been navigating to each vendor individually. I'm sure that was hell. In your defense, the game does a terrible job of letting you know that this guy is a vendor that you can use. Like, it does not do a good job of making that clear at all. So don't feel bad that you weren't aware. But yeah, that is his purpose. No, went back to football every time, running around like a moron. Yep, all the vendors that you unlock, you can talk to him and trade and use him to trade with them, unless they're dead, of course. Oh, I'm limited by profit factor. All right, well, oh, is that something? No, ship components. Okay, that's done. That's done. All right. What the? Why is this guy laying here like that? What happened to you? Idira, did you do something? Have you recovered?
I'm not going to lie. I haven't. Maybe I never will. But I'm not hearing random voices anymore.
That's helpful.
And I haven't been calling anyone from the other side. No. All that's done with. After what you did for me, I can't let you down again.
You know, Idira, life is short. Why don't you talk to Vigdis? She is deeply concerned about you.
How did you... Wait, what am I saying? You said her name when you were trying to... You said she's worried? You think I should talk to her, yeah? We haven't talked in a long time. Good idea. I'll do that.
I must take my leave.
Of course.
Huh. Whoa, and this one's dead too. Why are all the servitors dying? What is going on my ship? Out here slumming it the hard way. We have all been there.
Hello, Clark.
Okay, she doesn't have anything to say. Okay, cool. Alright. Done with all that. Let me just check. Yeah, oh, they're in the stress, right. Oh, that's right. Okay. I kind of need to go to football. But that's not where I'm going to go right now. Did I already? I checked all the, yeah, I checked all these already. Okay, cool. We gotta make another stop first, then we'll go to footfall. Whoa, Lord Captain, our astropathic choir received a message from Dargonis. The noble houses expressed their gratitude for the restoration of trade routes between the remaining Von Valancia's planets and expressed their deepest condolences for the loss of the worlds that did not survive these dark times. In addition, Governor Driveston sent a private message to your ladyship. I humbly asked the rogue trader for an audience so I may deliver it. What is this?
Lord Captain, permission to report, the Voxmaster says, looking at you deferentially. Your wise Lex mechanics have analyzed the state of the Protectorate. They believe that, thanks to your decisive actions, the acute phase of the crisis has passed. The domain of the Von Valancius dynasty is no longer facing dissolution and ruin. What's more, bringing Footfall to heel has strengthened your position as a rogue trader. Lady Theodora would have been glad to have such an important trade hub come under her sphere of influence. In honor of such a resounding triumph, Dargonis, as the capital world of your dynasty's domain, is currently making preparations for the Magna Accessio, a grand ceremony of your public induction as the heir of the Honorable Theodora von Valancius. What is this ceremony? I swear an oath, then I shake a lot of sweaty hands? The grill of the Vox built into Vigdis's face lets out a short rattle that indicates a chuckle. That much is certain, but that's not all there is to it. There will also be a reception, as well as other noble guests. The distinguished rogue traders Caligos Winterscale and Incendia Chorda will be in attendance. It will be a great honor for Dargonis to host 3 illustrious dynasties at once. Your servants wish to know your opinion on 2 matters related to the ceremony arrangements. The first of which is, what festive activities are to take place in the capital on this glorious day? Must I decide how to entertain my subjects now too? It is not so much about the entertainment, Lord Captain, as it is about the tone you wish to set for your entire reign. These activities will let the people know who you are, as a person and as a ruler. Did the rogue traders from the other dynasties flock to Theodora's Magna Accessio as well? Archival records indicate that they did. Lady Theodora's Magna Accessio was attended by the esteemed Caligos Winterscale and Aspis Corda, Incendia's predecessor. It is an informal tradition. By witnessing the ceremony, the heads of the other dynasties confirmed that they recognize the new rogue trader as their equal, that they are willing to respect the new rogue trader's privileges and not encroach upon their holdings. No more than usual, at least. Well, thanks for the stray. It was cool. Tiny at the sack. I hope I wake up in the next few days. No problem, Kunshu. Take care of yourself. I'll be dropping in a few as well. Heretical. Now, what does the rabble like to see? Give out enough amasec for everyone and hold fights between tougher serfs. The ability to see keenly into the hearts of one's people is a great virtue for a ruler to possess, Lord Captain. Oh, interesting. So she doesn't criticize you at all for choosing her heretical option. The second matter on your servant's mind is, which 2 of your closest companions will be given the honor of standing by your side during the ceremony? I choose Idira. Even though your privileges allow you to keep an unsanctioned psyker in your retinue, not every rogue trader would have one at their side on such a day. The free thinkers and the scorners of rules will be impressed by your courage. Oh, interesting. No matter what you do, no matter what you say or do, she's with it. And who will be your second companion? So there's really not another good heretical option. So I mean, I could go with Yrilet, but Yrilet doesn't really stand for heresy. All right, I think I'm gonna go with J. I think J is probably, even though J is benevolency. You know what? You know what? We're gonna go with Yrilet because even though it's not really the heretical option, it's gonna piss off all the people who stand for the Imperium. So good enough. Let's introduce Yrilet to the public. To appear before the people in the company of a Xenos, a provocative and intriguing move. Yep, exactly, Boss Bays. I agree. It is this kind of behavior that people expect to see from a rogue trader, the wielder of privileges unthinkable for other mortals. Wow, she makes any decision sound great, no matter how horrible it is. That's hilarious. I will see to it that your instructions are delivered to Dargonis, the master of ceremonies at the palace, who will report to you when the capital is ready to praise your name. Absolutely, Boss Page. Whoa. Pasqal is approaching me. Pascal's voice pouring out of his Vox system crackles like thin ice under pressure. It is unclear whether this is nothing more than static or an expression of some emotion, understandable only to the tech priest himself. Commander Highslanderer, following the Omnissiah's guidance, I request permission to execute the report protocol that entails describing suboptimalities within the recent operations of the ship's systems and subsequently proposing the appropriate course of action. I'm listening. Wait, Deliver your report. Just do so in a way I can understand. No more than one pearl of tech wisdom per 5 sentences of intelligible human speech. Request partially approved. Comprehensive processing requires an established definition of the term tech wisdom, adjusting speech patterns based on the limited available understanding of the request. I have arrived at the following conclusion. This vessel's machine spirit is most extraordinary. A full cycle of sacred diagnostics must be performed following a complementar ritual. This ritual will force the spirit responsible for these recent events to reveal itself. Once it does, we will be able to understand its nature and take action applicable to said nature. What kind of action? Pasqal pauses before responding. Applicable to the entity that appears before us. If it is a machine spirit of great might, we must appease it and humbly ask about the reasons behind the portents it has shown us. If is the abomination of tech heresy, if it is the abomination of tech heresy, the complementar ritual will help us purge the ship of its unhallowed presence. Is my presence necessary? Response, affirmative. For the complementar ritual to take place, activation via the blood of the dynasty is required. All of the ship's high protocols are activated with the key of blood. Very well, let us proceed with your ritual. You have my gratitude, Commander High Slanderer. I will notify my tech comrades to begin their preparations for the complementar ritual at once. Despite the resounding hum of the tech priest's words of prayer, the bridge feels unusually quiet. All sound sinks into the viscous silence like pebbles sinking into water. Commander High Slanderer, my tech comrades have spent the assigned number of cycles in prayer and vigil. Everything is prepared for the complementar ritual of cleansing. Its commencement will require an authorization key in the form of the blood of Avan Valancius. If you are ready, place a hand into the Cyber Gargoyle's receiving module. Do you have at least a vague idea of what the problem is or what we might encounter? Pasqal freezes momentarily. When he starts speaking again, you can tell how carefully and hesitantly he is choosing his words, a sight most uncharacteristic of Magos Hanuman. The bounds of possibility are vast. We cannot be certain what we are dealing with until the calculations are complete. However, there exists a risk that all that we have observed here on this ship are manifestations of abominable intelligence. All right. I'm actually falling asleep because I'm tired as hell, and I feel like this is probably going to take a while. We're going to have to pick this up on the next stream, because I'm pretty sure we have to go through the ritual, and then we have to do a full conversation with Nomos. I'm too tired for that. It's almost 2 o'clock where I am. But more than likely, I should be able to stream tomorrow evening. We'll see. We'll see. But most definitely on the next stream, we will be able to finish Act 2 and finally get into Act 3. So that, at the very least, is very, very exciting. But for now, I need to get some rest, go to sleep. Looking forward to pick this back up. Hope all of you have enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. What's going on, Super Saiyan? I didn't even see you join. Hope you enjoyed the stream, man. Take care.